Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the debate show today. And we got a lot to discuss, man. A lot to discuss. I got with me today a big panel. With me today, I think it's debut on the channel. Big up to the Elite Pundit. Elite Pundit, what are you telling me?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Can hear you. How are you, man?
Good. I'm glad to be on the show. Thank you for inviting me on today.
Oh, man, anytime, bro. Anytime, man. Got man like Griggs in the building. Griggs, what are you saying?
I'm doing good, bro. Got the 3 points early in the morning too, so I can hate watch the rest of the weekend. Now I'm chilling back in my seat and just enjoying the rest of the football. And Arsenal getting robbed. Quote marks are on that.
Yeah, no, crazy game in the end. Not a lot of quality, but you know what? Was a mad decision in the end. But yeah, man, big up, man. We got man like Sunshine in the building. Nagy, what are you telling me?
Come on, man. World's greatest heavyweight footballer. You already know what it is, man. I'm here, man. I'm out. Come on.
Come on. Love that. Temmy's in the building. Temmy, what are you saying?
What's good, people? What's good? Tired as hell. That game almost put me to sleep, but we're going to discuss it.
No, definitely, man. We got man like CK in the building. CK, what are you saying?
What's going on? Make sure to smash that like button, people. Appreciate you having me on, Saeed, as always, and nice to see the fellas after picking up 3 points.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Professor Adam, what are you saying?
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good. Thank you. I hope everyone finds as well, man. Difficult time, so as good as it possibly possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to everybody watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And Ibi says, here, what did you think of Doku? Listen, Doku's a talent, man. I can't lie, man. We got a player that we bought for a lot of money, but he's not performing. But I tell you what, Doku definitely is performing, man. So big up to Doku. But yeah, let's get straight into it, man. We'll start off with you, Elite Pundit, man. What did you make of today? What was your assessment of today, and what was your kind of feeling of the win? We got the win, but you know, I mean, overall, the performance for me, in my opinion, I don't think it was up to scratch. But what was your opinion on the game?
It wasn't very good. I don't think United played very well. For the most part, Fulham didn't create a lot of chances, and throughout the whole season, they haven't scored a lot of goals. It's kind of like the Wolves game. Except Wolves actually created a lot of chances against us, so they couldn't. I wasn't worried about them scoring. I was more worried about how we played, which was why my reaction at the end of the game, I wasn't very happy with the performance. And it's a win, but it doesn't really tell me much of what Ten Hag wants to do going forward, outside of he tried McTominay again in midfield. He played Dalot left back instead of right. So there's not a lot of confidence that the football is going to get better. But I think with maybe players like Wan-Bissaka returning, Varane maybe comes back into the squad, that maybe we can get results against weaker opponents. That's about what I would say going forward.
Griggs, man, how did you see the game, bro?
I almost fell asleep like 5 different times because it was like 8:30 in the morning. Went to sleep late last night. I woke up. The first thing I saw was the lineup. Right, my first initial reaction to the lineup was like, let me go back to bed. That was my first initial reaction because I didn't expect Scott McTominay to start today. I'm not gonna lie. I thought someone else would come in, maybe like Mason Mount or something. But first half was very boring. I thought we played a little better in the second half on the ball, and we just have the same struggles. Like we can't progress the ball from deep, which makes sense because we don't have our best ball progressors from deep. Luke Shaw and Lissandro Martinez are not here, so it's expected. I thought in the second half I saw a little bit more breaking the lines in terms of pass. I thought Johnny Evans did better in the second half in breaking the lines. I thought Maguire did better in the second half in breaking the lines. I thought Mount's substitution coming on was a little bit better because he brought the energy. Facundo Pellistri changed the game for me in terms of like that goal that we like. I know Bruno did really well for the goal too, but Facundo's the one that created that just from his persistence to not let Fulham play that ball outside the back line. Anthony did not bring that because Anthony's performance, if negative numbers were allowed, it would be allowed to give a negative because I've seen Anthony play bad. I thought today might have been his worst performance because I don't remember a single thing he did other than get locked up by Anthony Robinson. And that's big. That's a worry for concern for Ten Hag. But it was good to see him get hooked by the 60th minute. He didn't persist with him. So that's the one good thing I'll give Ten Hag. But it's just good to get 3 points because right now, I don't see we're going to talk about the performances, but after losing back-to-back games, you just need 3 points at the end of the day. Just get the 3 points. We have 2 more games for international break, and then we'll reassess from there. But it is worrying times, but 3 points is 3 points.
Yeah, CK, a little early one for you as well, man. I mean, I see it before, not really impressed, but I don't know, man. I think for me though, I look at the results. I don't think he's done anything for Ten Hag, especially lately this season. Seems to me that I think for me, United need performances to believe in. I don't know. A lot of people are putting it down to injuries, but I look at the 11 today against Fulham 11, which apart from Paulinho and I don't know, maybe Robinson left back, it's not a great team. Let's be honest.
No, for sure. I mean, I didn't. The game was on at 5:30 my time, 5:30 in the morning. And usually, like throughout all my times, I always wake up. But this time, I recorded it, and I was like, this team does not deserve me waking up at 5:30 in the morning and watching the game up until whatever minute Bruno scored it. And I was like, thank God I didn't wake up at 5:30 for this bullshit. But I mean, I still ended up probably being the better decision, but we've seen a lot of like versions of this team due to injuries and off the field issues and stuff. But I think this current version with McTominay starting is the worst one, just due to how it slots everyone else in the team, especially Bruno. Like, say what you want about Bruno, he's not playing well this season, but if we are going to play him, he has to play in his position. And that's the current territory that Scott McTominay is occupying right now. And so we're playing Bruno in that left center mid all phase role, which he just can't do. Like, he's not going to set the tempo for games. Like, that's just not who he is. And every time that we've moved him to the 10 position, it's not like the prettiest football you ever see, but it is more effective than what we're doing right now. And not only do you get, Bruno in that left center mid role, but then you also get Scott McTominay picking up the ball in these situations where he's the primary decision maker to create. And, a couple times against Copenhagen, he picked the ball up in crucial areas to like make the final pass. And that's just not who he is. And so I think Scott McTominay starting has a ripple effect throughout the entire squad. And I think we're sacrificing the odd goal from him for like the greater footballing, quality. So I think, McTominay has to be, has to go to the bench for just to balance the side out more. But yeah, definitely not a good performance. But as Greg said, you need 3 points. We got that Copenhagen game. I think it's going to be everything. Like I'm scared. I'm scared for Copenhagen away in the Champions League, which is pretty much it's the state of our club right now.
Tell me what you saying, man. How did you see the game, bro?
I mean, it's just more of the same. I don't know what else to say differently. I think everyone can agree that this has been the normal all season, right? We don't create enough chances. The tempo in the buildup is extremely slow. It's lethargic. Our wide players, I think, are championship level. I'm really not exaggerating. I don't think our wide players would start for a majority of teams in the Premier League. That's how bad it is right now, you know. And then, funny enough, our best players are some of the players we don't even want in. Like Harry Maguire was one of our best players today. Weirdly enough, you know, Johnny Evans was one of our best players today. Onana, who we, you know, a few weeks ago, we're all saying he needs a break,
Yeah.
saved us today. Quite literally saved us today. No pun intended. So the fact that those three players are the players that are we're relying on to keep us in a game against Fulham, who, by the way, were not good today. Yes, they had Onana made a bunch of saves, but they actually in the buildup, in my opinion, they weren't that good. The only time they were creating opportunities is because what we've been doing all season is in transition, we're terrible, right? So they're getting all these opportunities in transition, but in the buildup, they're terrible. So if we faced a team who could build up properly today, we would have gotten killed again, and that's the issue, right? So we have a number 10 who a lot of people like, who in my opinion has not played a good game of a good 90 minutes all season, right? Garnacho tried today, but I don't think he's the required level. I think he still needs to be a player who comes off the bench and is an impact sub, right? Anthony, he's probably our worst signing in history, and that's not. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. I don't think I'm exaggerating. He is probably our worst signing in history, and he's playing week in and week out. So there's just no way. And the midfield is unbalanced to top it up, to just add insult to injury. So all of these things combined is what's creating this. This feels like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this feels like, you know, when we were in that mode where we had no answers, we didn't know what we were trying to do outside of hitting somebody on the break. That's exactly where we are right now, and I don't know how Ten Hag is. I mean, there's a ton of injuries, and we can't ignore that. But in this short term, I don't know how Ten Hag gets himself out of this. Well, I do. He needs to drop Bruno, right? But other than that, he's not going to do that. Other than that, I don't know what he can do to get the rhythm back. You know what I'm saying?
Big up to Wilson. He says we have similar points now to last season. I believe we can turn this around. I back this manager. Leji, what are you saying, man? I know you still believe in the manager and whatnot. Like, do you see the worries where Terry's coming from there? Like, do you see it, or do you like, you know what, man? We're moaning a lot and we're asking for too much.
I wouldn't say it's so much that I don't see the issues. I think that they're quite glaring and obvious, and I think most of the points raised, I would side and back it. But the bigger thing for me is which is the bigger consequence: getting rid of a manager just because we see these issues, or kind of sticking it out with this manager. And I think the biggest risk for me personally is getting rid of a manager, because we're repeating the same bullshit over again. And yes, I understand people's feelings. Yes, I understand the frustration. I share them too. But putting that into perspective and context, like we said, again, I think 18 points by this time last season, or 13 points, whatever. I think 18 points actually by this time last season, exactly the same as now. And like I said to you before, Saeed, there have been performances where we've deserved wins. And to put things into perspective, we were like 1 or 2 wins away and decisions away from completely looking at our season completely different. And this is why I said, I believe 4 or 5 games ago, before this the last 5-6 games have been awful. But before that, I genuinely believe performances were confused with results. I don't think really people are breaking down the game enough, because I think we did enough in most games to go and win those games. There were some games we didn't deserve wins, don't get me wrong. There were some games where outplayed and should have lost. We got a couple of wins. But then there were some games where you thought, wow, getting games against Arsenal, I think you could easily argue for a 3-pointer there, given what we did, given how the goal was conceded. And how we were chalked off twice. And then again, ironically, you look at Newcastle's ball going out today, no different than Marcus Rashford. So there's always these little small decisions that can actually flip the balance of your season. And a lot of it doesn't go to the manager. Now, again, I'm being specific to the first 5 games. I look at the Tottenham game. Like I said, I predicted that with Onana in goal, like I said, we'll probably create more chances. And we were one of the best for creating in the final third. And winning the ball back in the final third after those first 5-6 games, I believe. But again, we can't put the ball in the back of the net. Tottenham showed us that, yeah, we should have had a handball, but we should have also buried 3. So you're talking about taking points off 2 of the most informed teams at the moment. We didn't know at the time they would be, but they are. And all of a sudden your season changes. So I do think we've been overreactionary, if I'm being very, very honest. It doesn't mean the feelings aren't justified. It doesn't mean the things that people are pointing out aren't accurate. I believe in them. I see them. But there is a much bigger picture going on that we're fully trapped to. And for me personally, I think it's playing in the Glazers' hands once again if we continue this narrative. For me personally, I'm not happy with some of the things Ten Hag's done. Again, I've told you, I've put it on, it's on Twitter, it's on streams, it's there to see. But the bigger picture, Saeed, for me, bro, is that we can't just turn over another manager because we can't handle a bit of shit that hits the fan on the first time, especially if we want long-term football. If you want us to succeed and to get and to go and get a style of play and make that consistent, then you're going to have to wait 3-4 seasons because we don't have a structure that allows us to, again, input that structure quick enough, in my honest opinion. So it's going to take longer. To me, that's realistic. If you don't want that, then the other option is we lower our standards according to how we're run and we go, okay, every manager, 2 seasons maximum, get us 1 trophy. Because that's ultimately what previous managers have done. And that's the only realistic thing we've been capable of doing. So it's one of those things. I don't think we're in a stage, bro, where we can have both of them. But that's just my outlook.
Well said, bro.
Yeah. Adam, do you agree with that one, or do you think it's justified, the criticism on Ten Hag?
Yeah, I think it's. Do you guys hear me? Because I think my internet is bugging. Do you hear me all right?
Yeah, no, you can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Neji agrees that the criticism is justified. So I don't think he's disagreeing with that, and I agree with it as well. I think it's more than justified because he made some absolutely shocking mistakes, some terrible decisions. I think he did some things that you just can't defend. I'm not even Ten Hag out, to be honest. But I'm not Ten Hag in. I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? I just don't see the good option, the good solution. It's just, I hear everyone saying, if we sack the manager, we are going to get into the same cycle. And fair enough, I agree, that's true. But then again, we can't sack the owners, we can't remove them. And like I said, we can't replace the entire squad because I would do those things before. So what is it? Do we have to wait for the injuries to come back? Yes, but fair enough. But then again, what is really the plan? Because now, like, Mason Mount was not only the priority signing, but Mason Mount shaped our transfer window. So he is important. And I have an answer for that. It's just Bruno is important to his team and Rashford is important to his team. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I really, really don't get it. And it's just like, I just don't know. I don't think it's reactionary to want another manager, to be honest, because I can get it. And I don't think it's foolish and like naive. I think both 2 options are valid. Personally, I'm willing to accept like difficult games and difficult results if I see what he's doing. At the moment, I don't really see it. I don't know what he's doing, and that is mostly what's bugging me, to be honest. It really, really is. So just like I told you, to tell me what tactic exists that involves Lindelof, Maguire, Evans. It does not involve Rafael Varane. What is it? Does it? I don't think such a tactic exists, and that's not on the squad. That's not on the owners. Just what is that tactic? Because if it doesn't work, if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, you look foolish, don't?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a tactic there's a reason why he's playing playing Maguire on the right side. He already said so. He says because he wants Maguire hitting those long diagonals to either Rashford or Garnacho. He prefers playing Maguire on the right. He said it himself. That's why Varane can play on the left. But again, you have a more difficult situation because Varane is probably better suited on the right. So you might say it's not a good idea. Varane is a better defender than Evans. Honestly, either of them, I don't even think he should be at Manchester United anyway. I think Varane is a great defender, but he doesn't suit Ten Hag. Ten Hag didn't sign him. So this is the problem that we have at the club. We've signed big-name players, Casemiro, Ten Hag, even Eriksen is a big-name player. But are they suited to style that Ten Hag actually wants to play. They aren't. So we can go through the cycle
Okay,
again.
can I throw back? Can I throw
Yeah.
back something at you? I understand you said that, but the problem is he brought in Mount, and right now he's not playing. He's brought in Anthony, and that was meant to
Mhm.
be his guy. I don't think the style of play for me is strong enough for me to kind of say Varane should be out of the team. I understand maybe he's not comfortable on the ball, Varane, and he's not the best ball progressor, but I don't know if it's strong enough, that argument, to be having certain personnel not in the team when the guys that he brought in are not doing his bit. He's not even playing them at the minute, So
But
I
that's the
really
problem,
don't think
Saeed,
the
right? We
argument.
keep having this problem where almost every manager at Manchester United post Alex Ferguson, even Sir Alex Ferguson himself, to my opinion, have signed players that have not worked. Sir Alex Ferguson signed Kagawa. He signed a number of players in his last 3-4 years outside of Robin Van Persie that didn't work. And you move into LVG, the same thing. Memphis was supposed to be a huge player, didn't work. You Jose, same thing. Like, the problem is obvious. Like, it keeps on repeating itself that the recruitment at the club is shit. I don't understand how like fans can see it. Like, it's obvious this is what the problem is. Like, we have Pep Guardiola right now basically telling us this is what is wrong with Manchester United, and fans still want to sack the manager. In my opinion, it's not going to change anything.
There's no
Yeah, you know
point.
what?
There's
Yeah,
literally no point. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
No, sorry, CK. Just the thing is, like for example, first window. If Ten Hag wanted players and we had the structure in place, and that told him no, we have better options for a better price, us as fans, we would have been fuming, and rightly so, because we know our people are incompetent. But then again, they let him get the players he wants, and we are still pissed as well because now we don't. He shouldn't be making all of those decisions. So it's a bit of a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
It's just like they just put the blame. They're like, oh, we don't really know what they're doing, so we'll just give all the power to the manager, and then he can
Yeah,
be the
but
fall
this
guy
is-
for everything.
This
So it's just like,
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
speaking to someone yesterday, and I
Yeah, go on, sorry.
highlighted to them that there was a reason why Ragnick got hired, because he was doing the whole coaching thing and also a sporting director. Our current director of football does not want to have the responsibility of picking out players. Like, it's
It's crazy.
pretty obvious to me. Like, he
issue you've
doesn't
got,
want to pick
yeah,
players.
the issue you've got, and I keep highlighting this for very, in my opinion, very valid reason, because we ultimately, whether you realize it, guys, or not, you're actually asking for a manager to build a club. If you want the type of success that you want as a United fan, what we want, you're actually asking any manager, Ten Hag or the next one, to do what Fergie did and build the club from bottom upwards and have control. The reality is we don't have that. So because we don't have an identity, because we don't have a culture no more, well, we do, but it's not of what we represent, what we think Man United represents. We then change managers which have different philosophies and different styles. Now, if there's no director of football working in the way that we think should be happening, in the sense of putting football first and moving in the right direction, then where is the football opinions actually coming from? It has to be from the manager, right? So what you're actually asking is for the manager to actually make these signings, because he has to build the football in his image, not based on the identity of what we know the club to be. And this is a massive misconception of where I think the fans are missing 24/7, because we're having in one hand, we can't give the manager leeway to make these signings and having expectations on the board to do it. And although that is correct, the reality is our board won't be doing that. So we have zero chance at this moment in time of having a director of football to move in any direction to maintain an identity. But we do have a small percentage of a chance for a manager to at least build his identity in the way that we want. Now, those are the pros and cons, and one outweighs the other massively. One is zero, no chance. One is 15, 20% chance. And that's why I'm trying to say I would rather a manager give him that 20% chance to build something sustainable, which will take a lot longer because he hasn't got the director of football and the backing, in my opinion, the full backing, not just money spent, that's very surface level, but the entire backing to move in his direction. If the club maintained its identity, we wouldn't be signing random managers with different IDs. We wouldn't be in my opinion, we wouldn't be signing managers with different outlooks. So we have to make a decision. If you want genuine football to progress, you've got literally two options. It's either we get the owners out and we get director of football, which again, zero chance of happening, or you have to at least somewhere go, let me give any manager, whether Ten Hag, if you want him out, cool. the next manager has to have 3-4 seasons to go. It's going to take him that long to build something sustainable. At the moment, Man United fans don't want to pick either. And that's where the confusion is, because it's like,
I don't
you have
think,
these expectations.
but Leji,
Go on, bro.
Leji, I don't think you need 4 seasons to have a style of play, though. That for me, I don't think you need
Why
4
don't you
seasons
think
for. I get what. Because I feel like for me that, especially with a manager that's established that came from Ajax here, I don't think we've seen enough that's been consistent from Ten Hag. The first season I gave him obliged. I said, you know what? He got third. Defensively, we were organised. I thought we conceded less goals. He had isolated games where they were bad, but I felt like for me, he deserved that first season. The second season was meant to kick on, and I think the football has regressed. People say yes, there's been injuries.
But did I not say this to you though, Saeed? Did I not say we'll take a backward step? Before this shenanigan, think about it. Before this shenanigan was going on, I said we're taking 5 steps back to go 3 steps forward. Did I not say that?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, I'm just laying the facts. I'm just laying the facts.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you.
People have lost faith with him.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. The people can lose faith. That's fine. But what I'm saying to you is, you've just said the football's regressed. Taking a step back is regression. And there's a reason I predicted, not because I had a wish or I was making things up, because I deeped the situation at the club. The moment he changed those profiles and what he wanted to bring in and took away what he did from last season when he had a solid defense, solid defense, one of the best in Europe, as I keep saying, he broke that to then favour the way he wanted to play football. I'm looking at this season as his first season of him actually trying to play slightly different. The difficulty is he doesn't have the profiles to replace when injured players are there or not. You don't have the profiles to maintain or get consistency. Now, you can talk about Anthony, yes. You can talk about Martinez, not played. Talk about Casemiro. Casemiro, like we know, is not the Frankie de Jong ball carrier. He adapted. So what I'm saying to you is the regression, like it or not, the facts are the facts. In order to, in my honest opinion, if you genuinely want to see a style of football that is consistent, not just moments, like 20 minutes here, like we have been seeing this season, where you want to see a whole 90 minutes, then more patience is going to be needed. Because the reality is, like I said, there is no identity. It's like similar to Brighton. Look at Brighton. When Graham Potter left, everyone's like, oh, they're going to struggle. Look at Caicedo, who's left. Because most people put the emphasis on the manager and the players, forgetting what they're... I've seen their structure and what they've been building over the past 9 years.
Oh, no, listen. I know what their structure's about, but think for me, though, for a team to have a style of play, I don't think we're asking for a lot. And I think I get what you mean, structure, this, that. Most of these guys are his players. So I get what you mean, structure. But we're talking about simple... Yeah, go on.
So, like, who... Okay, and here's the issue. And I'm with Nage on this. One, I have criticized Ten Hag a lot, but I'm not Ten Hag out, and for a lot of the reasons that Neji said. But the second thing is, like, I think a lot of people say sack the manager. Who is that manager that can go from turmoil to Champions League glory, Premier League glory in 2 or 3 seasons? Like, where does that manager exist?
Rebuilds aren't linear.
Yeah,
it's
impossible
not linear to go from our worst time to just like ascension right away.
Exactly. Let it. I know this is completely different. Sir Alex Ferguson built a club from scratch. I know the situations are different, but he had, I think, his second, third. He finished 11th, 13th, 6th in the all, and people were doing the same thing. If social media existed back then, he might have gotten the sack, right? Because of how the how social media makes things more we're not Bayern Munich. We can't sack a manager and then the next year win a league. Like, it's not going to work. It is not going to work for us. It's just it will never work for us. So if we can give him 3, like, for me, I think a manager at this club would need like 3 seasons for us to see, because we've seen what Ten Hag can do. We've seen that he can win a trophy. We hadn't won a trophy in 5 years, right? We finished top 4. We got to multiple finals, right? In one season. And mind you, we were coming off the back of our worst season in Premier League history, right? Me and Neji argued one time on my channel about Ten Hag versus Poch, right? And if Poch was here, if you bring Poch into this, nothing's gonna change. Would we have won a trophy? Maybe. I think if we bring in Zidane, he won 3 Champions League finals on the spin, right? Is it gonna change? I doubt it.
There's no point in sacking the manager without having like an actual footballing structure in place.
Exactly.
If we sack him and bring someone else in, they're operating under the same broken structure.
I have a question though. Like,
Yeah, go on.
but do you with Ten Hag? If you give him this time, do you trust him to oversee another summer transfer window when it has shown that he?
It's
really
not just. It won't just be on him though. We have a
no,
proper
but if he
footballing
stays,
structure.
if he stays, he's gonna have the full power again next summer. And he's the same guy that hasn't made up.
Ineos with a proper structure.
We don't know if they're gonna be in by the summer, bro. Every single day I hear news. It's like the next fortnight they're gonna make the decision. The next fortnight. The Glazers are delayed kings. They could delay this till next summer.
But that's every manager, though. That's every manager. Any manager that comes in.
Do you trust any manager in the world?
That's the issue. I don't think anyone can replace Ten Hag, but I'm stuck in the middle because I don't trust him to oversee another summer with all that money because it's the same guy that persisted.
Who do you trust? Who do you trust?
Michael,
but you got to remember, he wanted Frankie De Jong, he wanted Kim and Jay, he wanted Harry Kane. Like those
Right.
just didn't get it. What do you say?
So I was going to ask Michael a question.
And they're on the bench.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think he should be playing.
We're stinking up, man. Question to you as well, Say. Like, what is your idealistic expectation of any Manchester United team at current?
What, to win a trophy? That's one thing. Win a trophy.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And to finish as high as possible in the league.
So, like,
we're not going to win the league.
Would you say top 4 to bracket it?
Yeah, I would especially now with the way we're going right now. We're not challenged for the league, 100% not. So it would be in the realms of challenge, get a trophy and finish as high as possible in the league.
Cool, fair play.
Style of football that's attractive. So for me, I get what you guys are saying here, but I still don't think the structure is the reason why we're not playing great football, and we're playing the style that Ten Hag wants. He's had the money there for him. He's had the guys that he's wanted. Yes, there's been a couple that haven't been there. Big up to, by the way, Lee Gunner for the raid. But I feel like for me, there's a lot of emphasis on structure when there's no, for me, I look at you guys and the way you're talking, I just don't think you have enough, what's the word I'm looking for, emphasis on his style of play, what he's doing right now. A lot of it is ifs. 3-4 years time. Let's talk about now. What you're seeing now. Is good enough?
Spoke about now though.
It's good enough.
But I literally said to you last season we overachieved. So even before the season started, I literally said we can't judge next season based off that season. You also have to look at the situation that he's got to deal with 24/7. So if I'm able to sit there and predict, and it wasn't hard. It was just literally common sense. If you look at the whole picture, if I'm able to sit there and predict and go, his biggest Achilles heel was the way he's prioritized, because he should have known. And again, I even said in the group chat, bro, about it being naive. He was very naive to think that he could change the profile so much that he could stop what he was doing the season before and then try and fix it, knowing we haven't got the depth to do that, knowing to get the best out of those signings he's made, he's going to need pretty much a whole 8-9 man squad. Because Mason Mount is not a world-class baller. He's a facilitator for the play. His energy and his pressing is incredible. That is it. He's an engine. But if he's winning the ball and we ain't creating nothing from that, what is the point in having him? Onana. Most of the thing that's been gassed about Onana has been his saving ability these past couple of games. That's what's turned his season around. But did we not have saving ability last season? Well, so
the manager as well?
So really and truly,
for not allowing us to play out for the back? For not allowing
of course.
Well, injuries have had an effect on that, to be honest.
What I'm saying to you is, playing out of the back hasn't changed our fortunes going forward, putting the ball in the back of the net. Another thing that I predicted.
What's that down to?
Say again? Because I don't think we've got the profiles on the pitch to allow us to play that style of football consistently.
And who's that down to?
Again, you haven't got the profiles, and that does come to the structure of the board. You're looking at an
No. Come on, man. Listen.
What do
You
you mean,
structure, man. Too much. I need you, man. I have to stop you on that one, man. That's not down to the structure. That's down to the manager. Not facilitating Højlund to be having more chances because the system is all wrong. That ain't down to the structure, AG.
Don't work that way, bro. That's a fact. I'm sorry to say it to you, but put it this way. Move on from Ten Hag. Whatever manager you want to replace next season, I'll give you the same scenario. Bring in the next manager, right? Whoever it is. He says, I don't want Mason Mount, I don't want Anthony. He then goes
that will happen. Of course that will happen. Because it might not be good enough.
That is the issue with that. That is the issue with sacking him. That is
my point. If he says he wants to get rid of Mason Mount and Anthony, forget their ability, that's fine. The reality of the situation, this is what I'm saying, comes down to structure, is they won't get rid of him because they've just been bought. They're on big money contracts and players outlast managers. So the reality, Saeed, is the structure is holding it back. I'll bring it back to right now. Why have we got Maguire on the pitch when he should be off the team? Why have we got
Facts.
McTominay on the pitch when he shouldn't be on the team? That has nothing to do. That literally has nothing to do with
Lindelof.
Ten Hag. So what I'm saying to you is, every manager has to try and replace players that the next manager's brought in, which takes time. And because we can't get rid of them because they're assets, not players, that's literally like on a blueprint for you, bro.
It trickles down. Everything trickles down. Like these players, we've given mediocre players extremely high wages. We've given mediocre players extremely high wages, which makes them impossible to move on into the summer, which makes it impossible for us to generate revenue, which makes us impossible to move on to new players and get depth, which has the same profiles of the players that are in the starting 11. So when the starting 11 gets injured, we have people coming in like McTominay, Lindelof, who are not good enough, or in the same players who have failed in the past 3 years. So it's just trickle down.
If you want to look at the top 6 right now, or top 7, because United are 8th, the top 7 teams in the Premier League: Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Newcastle, Brighton. All of them have better structures than Manchester United.
Facts.
I understand that, but the thing is, for me, the topic of today is not about structure. I want to talk about why Man United's style of play is rubbish. Can we all agree on that?
It's pretty straightforward. The profile of players that Manchester United have are not good enough to play the kind of football Ten Hag wants to play.
Exactly.
No, I know what Sai's trying to ask. If you had 400 million, how do you not address that with 400 million?
To be completely honest with you, 400 million was not enough to fix the mess that Oli left.
Okay,
correct.
Okay,
Let me just answer this question. Because when Ten Hag joined, Cavani left, Juan Mata left, Pogba left. A number of players that were key players under Oli, they all left. So that 400 million spent was not even enough to replace the talent of Paul Pogba. He's a £100 million player. Did we replace him? No. We signed Casemiro, which was a panic buy because Manchester United got spanked by Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There's no plan. Manchester United were fully willing to not give Ten Hag any more signings before that Brentford result happened.
Said, who is the manager that can come in and shift it into? No, you have to answer that. No. Said, no. You know why you don't want to. Said, you know why you don't want to. You know why you don't want to talk about it is because you know that if you answer that. That's a cop out. If you answer that question, if you answer that question, it will require you to say that manager can turn it around in 3 seasons. I promise you,
What kind of football do you want to see, Said? What kind of football do you want to see from Manchester United?
Let's forget about that. I want to talk about what now.
That's what I'm asking. What kind of football?
We are talking about right now, though.
No, hold on.
What kind of football do you think this Manchester United's team is capable of with the players we have? That's just a simple question.
No, but before I answer that question, I think what you guys are doing here, and for me, I find it crazy what's going on here. You guys are not having accountability for what's happening right now. Right now, football is absolutely horrendous.
We know it's horrendous.
We said that Erik Ten Hag criticism is more than justified.
It's 100% justified.
That's all. I'm not telling you to say Ten Hag out.
No, it's justified. No, I'm not. It's Said. It's completely justified. But the issue is that I promise you, no matter what, there is going to let's just say hypothetically say we sack him. I promise you, there will be a spell for the next manager that is exactly like this. We'll see it something that he wants to do. There will be a good run of form, and then there will be a terrible run of form. It will happen.
As long as the same structure is in place.
We brought in the old wildly experienced manager. We've brought in the best manager in the world. We've brought in the club legend. We've brought in now Erik Ten Hag is the young and up and coming manager. He's the Poch. He's the De Zerbi, right? We've literally checked every box for the type of manager that's around, right? We've checked every box, and I'm saying that the point I'm trying to make is that the next manager you bring in terms of style of play, right? There will be a dip like this. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Before Adam comes, there's a couple of super chats I want to read. Tariq says, big time players don't want to come to play for that guy. Wake up, Exhibit 1, Frankie de Jong. HK Moose says, what's the guarantee Erik Ten Hag does well? what if he's another summer of buying shit players and we go even further back? Arteta hasn't done anything but brought vibes to Arsenal. They ain't winning anything. And he carries on to say the structure isn't good, but Eric Ten Hag's recruitment has been very poor. Everyone needs to admit it. Again, no guarantee Eric Ten Hag does any better with a summer of buying players. Eric Ten Hag should force players out. And Tariq says Ten Hag does not
Force
even know
players
what kind of
out.
football he
How you
wants to
gonna do
play.
that?
So from
He's doing his
what
best right now.
most of you guys are saying, is Eric Ten Hag better than any manager we can bring in for the club and players right
Never
now?
said that.
I'm not
No,
sure
Never
if
said
he
that.
is.
No one said
Let
that.
Adam come in. I think Adam's going to come in with something. Then let
Yeah,
you
Adam,
guys
why do you
on.
Adam? Why do you disagree? Why do you disagree with the
Yeah,
last
let him
statement? I'm
find out
curious.
what he disagrees.
No, because you said we brought in Van Gaal, which is the old school manager, successful manager. We brought in the Jose Mourinho, which is arguably one of the world's finest, and we brought in I hear that, but just because we brought in every profile doesn't mean that those profiles don't work.
No, I never said they didn't
You
work.
can bring in another up and coming manager and it works. And
Yeah, no, I'm not saying those different
not saying
profiles
that.
didn't. Yeah, I'm not saying those profiles didn't work or didn't work. Van Gaal had a style of play, very distinct style of play, and we had terrible runs of form with him. Mourinho, like him or not, there was a way he was playing. We didn't like it. We had terrible runs of form. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it was mishmash. It was counterattack and pray, right? You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
I'm saying the dip will always happen. The dip will always happen.
Yeah, no, I hear that. For as much as for me, you guys are saying there's no other solution. Is it also a lot of hopium in Ten Hag can turn it around? Where the present facts that you see right now, for me, isn't good enough, and we haven't seen the style of play. And like I said to you, the present facts we're seeing right now isn't good enough. So as much as you say to me, what manager could come in, you've seen it right now by what he's playing, by the silence he's brought in as well. The facts are there. What silence has come in?
We also had a whole season of facts last
one is
season.
gonna
He was a
get the
cult
facts,
hero
though.
last season.
No one here
changed our lives last season. Now all of a sudden, 15 games in, the facts are there. You want to kick him
the
out.
thing is, last season, let's be honest with you, it was good, but we need to go up a level this season. And when you do
that's
this,
not always how it works. That's not always how it works. That's not always how it works. It's not. This isn't life. It's not like this.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying we've regressed. We've regressed.
That happens. Sometimes that happens.
Oh my god.
You know
that happens.
Say, do you see this? Yeah, you see when something starts here and does this. I'll name you some clubs that have managed to do this: Newcastle, Liverpool, Man City. Why? Because of their structure behind them allows them to do it consistently. Even when they get signings wrong, even when they spend on players and they don't use them, it does this. Man United doesn't have that. And that's why you
have a successful on the pitch product
that are not level with where our club is at. This is why I said to you, if you want genuine long-term football at this club, given that there's no structure, you have to let the manager build it because there's no footballing opinions going above him that are making the right decisions. Or you can scrap that and go, okay, I'm going to give a manager 2 seasons every single time. And every time I give him 2 seasons, I expect at least 1 trophy, then sack him. Then we'll become Chelsea. You can't have both. You can't have progression without the dips at this club.
No, I can't. I can expect the style of
I think the real thing is,
the
main question is, do you guys believe that Ten Hag deserves to have those 4 years to build that club in his?
Based off of last season, based off of what he did last season, considering we were, again, I'm going to repeat this. Before Ten Hag came, that was our worst season in Premier League history. Off the back of our worst season in Premier League history, he came and got 3rd place and won us a trophy. And won us a trophy after 5 seasons of not winning one. So I think he should get another season. I think he should get another season.
The way he played last year, though, is completely different to the way he wants to play. So you take last year's tactics and you throw out the window. Right now you're seeing the way he wants to play. Do you think that is the way that he wants to play, and he builds it within the next 3 years?
But we're undergoing a seismic shift in the way we want to play with all of the mismatching of profiles and players.
It makes no sense.
No, but he says that he wants to wait. He's doing this dual winning thing, but he's not signing the right players because I bet you the club offered him a bunch of midfielders in the summer that were better ball carriers and were better aces.
That's a guess and a hope.
But he's persistent. No, because
you mean you have faith in the scouting department. I
do, because that same scouting department brought Moises Caicedo 3 years ago. That same scouting department identified Julian Alvarez. They're the ones that identified
Those aren't the people making the final. They're bringing players, but the people who are actually like,
all right. For example,
you should buy this stuff.
Nunes, for example, got brought to the board this summer, and Murtaugh was the one that wanted Matthias Nunes, for example. But Ten Hag has persisted on players that he's only coached. Do you trust that? But that's not just. I don't want that for the next 3 years.
Yeah, but that's you, bro. Okay, listen, Michael.
I can see going.
You don't want that. It doesn't mean that can't be the reality. Because the difference is,
is that reality going to be successful?
No. Hear what I'm saying. Let me land the point. What I'm saying is, just because you want that, and everyone's got their own preference of what they want to see. Yeah, the reality will go against everyone's preference. Why? Because we don't have the stability to be able to do that. So like I said to you, what you're actually asking for subconsciously is a Fergie to come in, build a club from bottom upwards. You don't get that.
No. So I don't think you want to. We know we're not going to get Fergie, though. We know we're not going to get Fergie.
If there's any other alternative, you bring a manager in.
What is Ten Hag wanting to do though, in the next 3 years? What is his style of play? This year, we were meant to see a style of play. What am I meant to see?
Who said you meant to see it?
That's what he.
You know what? There's a question here. There's a question here.
Who said you?
There's a question here.
You have to see a style of play by your second season.
Please, someone on the hold on a minute. Please, someone on the panel, tell me which way does he want to play?
I can answer that question.
I can answer that question. Yeah.
Let Brian go. Let Brian go.
Yeah, I mean, what Ten Hag wants to do, and we saw it earlier in the season, he wants his two fullbacks to invert into midfield. He wants to play advanced eights that creates a box shape in midfield. And he has his wingers to play very wide and hold the width. Unfortunately, if you want to play the two fullbacks that can invert in midfield, we don't have any profile like Zinchenko. There's nobody that can do that. Luke Shaw is maybe the closest, but he was a traditional fullback. You're asking a player that's all his life has been used to overlapping to come invert into midfield. He's not that style of player.
By the way. He brought him last year, by the way. Go on.
Malacia is injured. Malacia hasn't played. I
don't know what the level. He brought him in.
He's injured.
I get what you're saying, but we don't know what the level of Malacia was going to be. It was a young player that came in. Maybe he could do it. Maybe he could develop him, but we don't know. He hasn't played this season. But we go into midfield, right? He wants his two advanced eights to press and win the ball back quickly, which, to be fair, if you look at his stats, they've done, especially Mount when Mount has played. He's number 6. He can use Alvarez type. He can use a De Jong type. He's done both before. But the problem with Casemiro this season, he's fallen off a cliff. Most people who saw we were signing a 30-year-old would have said this could happen. And unfortunately, it has happened. It happened to Fabinho at Liverpool. These are the things that happen in football. The difference with Liverpool is that they went and they spent money and they replaced their mistake. Because when you sign a player, they didn't sign him at 30, but they signed him at 27. So he had a shelf life of maybe 3 years. And he hit that shelf life, and they've gone and replaced him with, 3 other players, and they wanted to buy Caicedo for £120 million. This is the thing that Manchester United don't do. You go into attack. Yeah, Anthony has been shit. Like, I agree. Anthony's probably one of the worst signings I've ever seen. He's on the level of Bebe for me. Like, he's not very good. For the most part, he's a ball-retentive winger, but he doesn't beat this man. We don't have runners around him. Bruno Fernandes is supposed to be either the left-sided or right-sided. It depends on the fixture. That's supposed to link with the fullback. Bruno is not disciplined in his positioning. He's always constantly moving.
Keeps playing him,
this is what I'm going to bring up something that happened in us last season. I just want to make this point. There's a question that people don't ask themselves. Why do you think Ten Hag constantly played Weghorst at number 10 and moved Bruno right wing? It's the positioning of Bruno. He constantly does it. He does it every game. Sometimes it works and he gets a goal and he gets a crazy assist. But to play a system that Ten Hag wants to play, you need positional discipline.
Yeah, Bruno, well, then you have to make Bruno captain.
Yeah, that was his biggest mistake.
Ten Hag, for instance, I want to sell Bruno Fernandes. Understand? Ten Hag came out and said, I want to sell Bruno Fernandes. He has to manage the players in the dressing room that like Bruno Fernandes. He has to get a good replacement for Bruno Fernandes. Do you think this
club can give you many good replacements? And what the dressing room thinks, we don't give a shit. The manager calling the shots. They need to respect the authority and the discipline.
He's trying to do that, and people want him
sacked. That's not how it works. So.
Before you go, I'm going to read a couple of super chats. K Mill says, Saeed, let Sir Jim Ratcliffe hire the next DOF like Mitchell by January and let him sack or work with Ten Hag if they have the same goals. Liverpool owners are just as bad as these excuses. No one answered the question on why you guys are so sure Eric Ten Hag is going to guarantee us better. His recruitment, again, isn't good. sounds like a lot of excuses and hope. If you ask me,
Let's just
that's for me.
stick
It's
it
a lot of
out
hope.
for once.
And,
Yeah, it is. It is hope, but like,
a
can we
lot
just
of
stick
it's
it
on
out for
hope
once in our
and
lives?
not on facts. No,
A
I
lot
get
of
you.
bro,
I'm not
everyone
saying
use
to you,
facts, fam.
but for me,
For
I'm
me,
bringing
it's
you
not
facts
hope.
right now.
Denying
I'm
them,
bringing you
fam. I
facts.
don't know
For
why
me,
you
it's not
deny them,
hope.
bro.
It's very binary. If you have a good structure as a club, I'm not saying you're going to win the Premier League. You're going to build something. Brighton literally came from the Championship. Like, I don't even know what level of football they came from. Brentford, the same thing. They changed their whole structure. It wasn't about hiring the best manager. They
Correct.
changed their whole structure. And they moved all the way up into the Premier League. And now they're competing with Manchester United. It's not a hope thing. It's a thing of you fix your structure, which Manchester United haven't had since the Glazers come in, because David Gill left and Sir Alex Ferguson left. They don't have it in 10 years. And we keep seeing the same things happening. If you want to sack Ten Hag, that's fine. But the whole point is I want a director of football and another higher sporting director that has a vision in mind to actually at least select the next manager. It's as simple as that. Because if
And I
we
think
let
You
to
know,
answer
let me
my
ask you a question.
what's his name?
Now, the
Sorry,
thing
the
is-
Yeah,
HK.
go on.
Is
Go
H-
on, go
yeah,
on.
to answer my man, it's not about guarantees, it's about probabilities. That's the difference. It's not we can't sit here and guarantee that this will happen. I can't sit here and guarantee that sacking the manager next season won't bring us better football next season. What I'm saying to what I can guarantee is over 10 years, I can look at the same patterns with different managers and players, world-class abilities, and go, there's a lot of credit in the bank to go off. 10 years is much bigger than short-term situations that we keep doing. So we keep talking about facts. 10 years, there's a lot of facts within them 10 years. And within them 10 years, the same thing's repeating. And the one consistent thing that's happening, the inconsistencies is the difference of managers, the difference of players, the difference of styles. Some managers we've got rid of that have a better CV and are better managers than Ten Hag. So ultimately, what we're looking at is, well, what is the common denominator? And we're talking about the structure. That is the common denominator.
Everybody knows the common
If you want to
denominator.
get to
Everyone
the
knows
root of
that.
any
Though.
problem, you
Tell
find
me
a
something
common.
I don't know. You know what I don't know? I don't know what the style of play is. That's what I don't know. I don't know what he's doing with the players that he's got. Tell me something that I don't know. What I don't know is the style of play and how that gets better.
Bro,
that's what I want to know this
Saeed,
season.
I can tell you right now, it's not going to get better until the profiles of the team improve.
I've not denied anything you've said. This is why I always ask for critical listening. That's why I genuinely say when I speak, bro, like genuinely understand what I'm trying to say to you. I've not denied the things you've highlighted. When you ask me, do I disagree with anything that's been said? I said no, I actually agree. So it's not that. What I'm saying to you is there is that element what you're talking about, but then there's the bigger element. And Temi and everyone else is talking about the bigger element that keeps contributing to the surface level that we're talking about. That's what we're saying.
I agree. Okay. When you bring in the players he's brought in, and I didn't tell him to bring these players in, by the way.
Of course.
Do you not say, okay, then that should aid your style of play? So when you bring in Mount, or when you bring in these players that you brought in, should that now aid you?
No.
And also, oh my God.
Listen, wait.
Before the season
so you just
started,
spend
I
that money
told you
for no
this.
reason?
No, check it. The reason, listen to Neji's point again, like really deep what he just said. Every manager has done that. Every manager has theoretically bought players that should aid in the way they want to play. Almost every one of our managers have had an 80 million plus. Like, how much did Di Maria cost? How much Pogba was an 100 million pound player. Ollie signed Maguire for 85 million. Now this manager has signed Anthony for 100 million euros. Like, there's every manager has had a player who can quote unquote aid. The issue is, let's say name a manager you really like right now outside of just a manager that you really fancy. You know what I'm just saying? You think this manager is, and I'm not saying this person will come to United, but who is that? Who is that manager for you outside of Pep? I don't want to, or Pep or Klopp. I don't want any of that.
I think there's good managers out there. I think Amorim from Sporting Lisbon, I like him.
Okay.
I'm looking at. I still think De Zerbi is a good manager. Would he work at Man United? Probably not. Again, that would. You're just talking about managers as styles that I like. Whether they would work at Man United is a different question. But I'm just talking about styles and whatnot.
Right.
There are managers out there. You know what I mean? There are managers that are there. But like I said to you, I just want to focus on how we improve as a team, and I don't see. From what I've seen from the evidence now, from what he's talked about in the press and the media, I don't see it improving for the manager because I haven't seen it on a surface level, not from where you're talking about the structure level, on a surface level where he's got his guys in onto the football pitch. He's adapted a style of play that for me, in the long term, or even in the short term, this season, it will be, how would I say, consistent. And we're going to play better football, we're going to climb up the league. And then you have to add it to the fact that other teams now are playing a better style of football and more consistent and are buying top players in. The gap for me has to be then the manager here, right, in the short term to say, right, let's bridge the gap. And here, for me, I can't see it getting any better. So as much as I say the structure's not right, I also think the manager for me isn't right. Two things can be right. Yes or no? Two things can be right.
100%. 100%. Two things can be right. Two things can be right, and I agree with that. And again, I don't hold anyone who feels that the manager should go. I have no ill will. I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're out of your skis to say something like that. But the issue for me is, right, one, I think what is this? So we're not even how many games we played in the Premier League? 11, 12?
Yeah, 11 games, man.
We played 11 games. 11, and it's been a terrible 11 games. It's been a hard watch.
Preseason as well.
It's been
preseason.
Preseason. There's been preseason. We went undefeated, then we finished sixth. I'm not worried about preseason. But like the issue is with this. If we sack this manager, right, in 18 months, Saeed, I promise you'll be saying, "Where's the style of play? Where is the structure? What is going on? Why did we sign this guy?" It's going to, like, I can guarantee that.
Facts.
I can guarantee it. Unless I'm not a big fan of this whole Sir Jim thing. But if he puts a structure in place, let's say Sir Jim comes in the next 3 weeks, or before December, right? And he signs a new director of football, right? He implements different sporting managers, has a hierarchy, all this stuff, and then 6 months later, Ten Hag is still doing the same thing, bro. You can dip. You know what I'm saying? Because at least we have there's a theoretical structure that's been a theoretical new structure that's being put in place.
Correct.
But this bullshit that we're seeing right now, I promise you, if the same bullshit's happening 18 months down the line, and we sack this manager right now, it will not change. It will not change.
To make it easier, okay, I'm gonna ask CK. In the short term, how does Ten Hag turn this around? How does he get back to playing better football and getting the fans back on side? What do you think he's doing wrong at the minute? Let's just talk about the short term.
Yeah, as I said at the beginning, I think the Scott McTominay decision. Now, I mean, the injuries are still there, but he does have the personnel, in my opinion, in midfield to make some changes and slot people differently in terms of you have Amrabat, you have Mason Mount, and then you have Bruno Fernandes. That would be the midfield three, or you could go with a 2-8 system with Amrabat, Eriksen, and Mount if you want to drop Bruno. Just have some semblance more of balance in midfield, I would say. As I said, Scott McTominay being in that pseudo 10 second striker role just slots everything wrong, in my opinion, and then it also enables us to go more direct because we're sending balls direct up to Haaland, or not Haaland. I wish we had Højlund and McTominay, and just basically hoping to win second balls, knockdowns, and then go from there. But if we had more just ball players in the central midfield as opposed to a player like McTominay, that would help. Antony, in my opinion, definitely has to go to the bench. Pellistri, I thought, played decent. He's not a world beater by any means, but just having someone who can just do the simple things right instead of Antony. There was one play today where Wan-Bissaka made an underlap and cut off that space to the right. And that is the one time in the past 10 games that we've had that he's actually gone on to the right. And it's the only one time that he shouldn't have gone onto his right foot.
Yeah.
And it's just everything with him is so backwards. I can't why he would go onto his right foot at that moment where he never does it. And that's the one time he shouldn't have done it. It's crazy. So he definitely has to go to I think a lot of it is personnel. As I said, I think we're sacrificing a lot of football for goals, which I understand because we have one goal from our forwards all season. Yeah, we're not scoring. So if you have a Scott McTominay or someone that's gonna is a threat, I understand it, but I think we would create more with better, a better balanced
exactly. But
team.
That's the manager, to be honest.
No, yeah, I agree. It's his decisions as well.
Because I've been wanting to speak, but my internet has been bugging. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
But
go for it, Adam.
The thing is, with the structure, I hear it and I hear all the points you're making. But the main issue with the structure in place that no one has talked about is The club is mixing football with politics. That's how the structure is corrupting the whole football. They want some players to be good that are not necessarily good. And Ten
100%.
Hag is going along with this. That's why I told someone this week that for me, Ten Hag has sold his soul. Because there is no way you're trying to do what you want and putting players in that don't fit that. If you have a set of bollocks on you, you drop the players that don't fit. And if you are forced to play them, walk so that we know it. But don't tell me you're.
That's easier said than done. That's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done, but it's very, very.
You get one chance in your life to manage Manchester United. I think it's
But there's nothing in life that you have more that's more important than your reputation. I'd much rather walk and keep my reputation intact, and then maybe they got another good big job. Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, whatever.
Yeah, but no one's getting those jobs
tricky,
at Man
though.
United. No, when
It's
you
tricky
leave Man
because-
United, you're not getting them big jobs. You got to work out. Like a lot of money, you have to understand. Yeah, for a manager to come into this Man United, don't get me wrong. These managers obviously talk behind the scenes. Football is a very, very close, small world because they try to keep it as far away from the public. They know when they step into Man United, they've got their whole career on the line nowadays. So there's no way that when you step in there, they're going to walk away straight away because they look like they've defeated, and no manager wants to do that.
I'd argue it's easier to leave.
I'd
argue it's easier to leave.
Your concept is bang on. Theoretically, they should do that. But we've already seen it with Rangnick. We've already seen the things that you're asking for, Adam. We've seen it from Van Gaal in his comments. We've seen it from Rangnick in his comments. We've seen the slide digs from Jose. So just because they know this happens, just because they walk out and say they're doing it again, it doesn't change nothing.
No, but the climate from when Jose and Van Gaal was there is different to the climate now, because now we know that the people upstairs are responsible. So if Ten Hag calls out the player, calls out the owners, and calls out the structure,
Yeah, but that's not going to change. It's not going to change anything.
It's not going to change anything. But
why do it?
He would have the entire fan base backing him. Unlike now.
But they wouldn't. That's the thing. They wouldn't. Because let's be honest, Adam, if we're being very honest, and sorry to you, Saeed as an example, he's my boy, so it's all good. Even now, you don't want to hear the structure chat, and that's okay by him. I'm not saying that to dig him out, but there are fans who just don't want to hear it. Because some of them, bro, have accepted what you're saying. There's statements are there. Ronaldo did an interview and spoke about it. Everyone thought big changes would happen. The reality of the situation is none of it matters, because ultimately there's always going to be fans who want to turn up. There's always going to be fans who go, I just don't rate him no matter what. So although you are theoretically correct, the reality is it will never happen. It makes no change. And you just said there's going to be no change.
You don't have 100% of the population agree. I hear that.
Adam, no, Ralph did exactly what you're saying. Right? I mean, Ralph did pretty much what you're saying outside of calling out the manager.
Exactly.
I mean, calling out the owners.
Look at Ralph.
The majority is still allowing. Sorry, go on. You're still. My bad. You're talking. Go on, bro.
No.
Yeah, I was saying like Ralph called out pretty much everything you could call out in regards to the players, to the structure, everything. And people on Twitter were still saying he sucked. He should get sacked. He's terrible. Like they said, he didn't understand football.
Now, yeah, but if you are someone that says or thinks that Ralph Rangnick doesn't understand football, your opinion can't be taken very seriously, can it?
They're doing the same thing to Ten Hag.
They're doing the same thing to Ten Hag.
Changed nothing. It hasn't changed nothing. The same cycle's still repeating. So really and truly, how powerful was it?
Do we really wait? Saeed and Adam. Well, I'm not sure. Adam, are you? You said you're not Ten Hag and Ten Hag. You're indifferent. But Saeed, do you really think Ten Hag doesn't know football? You don't think he's a good coach? You don't like
I think he's abandoning principles. I think he's abandoning his principles. So what's the point being here? So that's where I'm at. If you've abandoned your principles, hold on. Let me finish. If you've abandoned your principles for certain personnel and you've allowed them to dictate your style of play, for me, you shouldn't be here because we never wanted that. No one said here we want our style of play to be revolved around Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Nobody came here to say that. So for me, what's the point now in believing in this? There's no point. Because he's saying I can't improve my style of play, so forget it.
No one said it revolved around those two. That's just a statement that's been made.
No. You can see it. No. You can see it with your eyes.
Not really. I disagree with that. You see what you want. It's not built around Bruno and Rashford, because if this was built around Bruno and Rashford, Bruno wouldn't be right wing.
Prioritize around Rashford and Bruno.
No. I'm talking about for me. You got to remember the reliability of them two in the team. The majority of the time they're in the team. They're the most consistent two in the team.
You know why? Because first of all, Bruno never gets injured, so he's always going to be in the team, and he's a leader in the locker room. But like, if this club was built around Bruno and Rashford, then you wouldn't be seeing Bruno right wing half the season, and you wouldn't be seeing
Garnacho coming on and moving Rashford to right wing.
No. The problem is that if you want to play Bruno on the right wing, just play a right wing and drop Bruno. You would have much more respect from anyone. Because look, Bruno is better at 10 and he's shocking on the right. And I just much rather have a right wing on the right. Just put the players where they fit.
Well, who's the right winger? We ain't got a right winger. Ahmad's injured. Sancho's doing the madness. He wants to play for the club. He ain't trying to play for the club. So
I'm gonna get this comment here.
Go on, yeah, sorry.
I'm going to get this comment here from Aslan. He says, "You're all missing the point. Style of play means nothing if you don't know the difference between a good player and a dud. He wanted Arnautovic.
He wanted Harry Kane. He wanted Harry Kane. He wanted Kim Min-jae.
He
wanted Frankie De Jong.
It doesn't take a genius to want Harry Kane.
Okay, but that. I'm just saying.
That was crazy.
I'm just saying that's like to use Arnautovic as the example. Like we got Weghorst last season. Weghorst started a lot of games and we finished third with Weghorst.
Wanted him.
Like, bro, like as a 6 month option.
Who's the one that wanted Weghorst?
He wanted Gakpo and the club.
He wanted Cody Gakpo. Thank you. He wanted Cody Gakpo.
He's mid too.
Cody Gakpo's a good player.
I bet you all of you should be saying Gakpo out, man.
That's the issue. That's the whole bigger issue. It shouldn't just be him.
No, and my issue with Ten Hag's talent ID isn't even off the pitch. It's even on the pitch. Why are you playing McTominay as a 10 when you have a Donny van de Beek in your squad?
Because he's bagging goals.
Why are you playing Eriksen in a lone 6? Is it Eriksen in a lone 6? No. So
but
guys,
here's the problem, Saeed,
in teams and
Saeed, how often did you watch Ajax play?
We didn't dominate though. We didn't dominate.
We didn't dominate the ball today.
How often did you watch Ajax play when Ten Hag was the coach?
We had the lion's share of possession.
When Ten Hag was at Ajax, how often did you watch them play?
I watched the majority of the time when they were in the Champions League. That's and I think everyone can admit that. I don't think anybody watched them week in, week out in the Eredivisie. But he had two teams. He had the 18-19 team, which had the possession with Skoley and De Jong and Van der Beek. They had the triangles, and he had the 2021-22 team where he had Ajax, when you had Anthony and whatnot. And it was fast-paced football, and it was energetic, and it was high pressing, high football.
Do you know how often he took off his number 6 in Alvarez to play Klaassen in number 6 because he wanted to, quote Ten Hag, more football? Yeah. He did that at Ajax.
He said it now.
Football.
But the point is, he wants a playmaker in that position, and with McTominay coming to play more advanced, he did the same thing. He had Brobbey and he had Hela. He's profiling McTominay as a striker, a box crasher.
Yeah, but
at the end of the day, it's pointless because Donny van de Beek, we've seen him play shit. So I don't understand why we're talking about Donny van de Beek.
No, I don't rate Donny van de Beek.
Do you not agree though? Hold on.
I don't rate Donny van de Beek.
Do you not agree? No. Do you agree though that even him as a manager is misprofiling players and it's causing him issues on the football pitch? Do you agree?
But he's having to, bro. He has to.
No, bro. Let me ask.
You don't have to play Scott McTominay in the 10. You don't have to.
Do.
Why do you have to do
that? That's the question.
You do not. Because you know what we did today? His game plan today was to launch along to Hoyland and win the second ball, and McTominay's going to pick up that ball, right?
Yeah.
That was the game plan.
I agree to disagree because that's no manager comes. Listen. Stoke City football guys. 2 seconds ago, I saw Tony Pulis football, mate. I'll be honest. That was literally long throw-ins and long ball. He's the only manager I've ever seen go in there and say that's what type of football I'm trying to play. So now there's no way he's gone in there saying
that first half though. That first half we played a lot of long ball. We played a lot of long balls to Hoyland.
Come on, bro.
He used Hoyland, and
the thing that really bugs me, and I'll be honest. The thing that bugs me is people defend Ten Hag, but then they defend the shit players.
I was defending him. I was just bringing balance to the situation. It's okay to dig a player out, but if you're going to use some false facts, then dig a player. I'm not going to accept that.
What was Scott McTominay's role today? What was Scott McTominay's role today? It was to win the second duel, the second ball, and then crash the box. That was Scott McTominay's role today. It was to win the second ball because we lacked that this year. We were terrible in winning duels. Scott McTominay can do that to a certain extent, and to box crash. But for me, that's not something you should be doing.
I disagree. I don't believe unless you've got proof of that being the situation. I don't know.
That's what that first half. That's what we saw the whole first half.
That's what we saw. But is that what he wanted?
Then they're not following his principles. Then drop them.
But it's not following instructions.
Well, exactly. Yeah, but that's not.
He's not doing that either. So what are you gonna do?
He doesn't have
what I want from the manager is I want him to start picking players on merits. I don't want to see favoritism because no one reacts well. To
Well, no one wants McTominay to play, and he should be playing on merit based on the fact he's doing more than most of our claim. But no one wants that.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with McTominay given the current state of things, even though I don't rate McTominay because at least he deserves it more than others. Another thing that I want is I don't want to be surprised when we play well. It's been too long that we are surprised as a football club. Manchester United, big club. We are more surprised than not when we play well. And that is not acceptable for any manager, any structure, any players. You need, as a manager, to pick the players that give you the best chance of winning, and he's not doing it. And we need to start seeing something on the regular that we know what he's trying to do, and not change from game to game with the wrong players and this and that. And that's not even me being Ten Hag out. It's just me being serious about the fact that, look, he has dropped the ball big time this season.
Half of the key players you want to see are actually out. Half of the key players that actually contribute to the way he wants to play football are actually out.
Look,
the reality
has enough.
The reality is whoever he is replacing them with is not the profile or good enough. Therefore, the football will be different. I.e., I'll even a perfect example. You know, I dislike Maguire the most. I'm probably known for disliking Maguire the most out of most people. However, he's one of the most best players in form. Even then, even when he's in form, how slow are we to move the ball out the back and how quick? And this is one example of many. Right there. How slow are we to move the ball out the back? And when he's on the ball, how long does he take? He gives them time to get into position. He's still performing well, but his profile and the way he plays is not good enough to be able to fizz those balls through. He's already said he wants to play out the back, but yet Maguire's making long balls. Even though they're accurate, he's making long balls. So we get into a type and a system because we become comfortable playing that style of football. The profiles are not there to maintain the style that you want to see.
I'll ask you something very simple. Now you told me about the players coming back from injury and this and that. He hasn't had his full squad, yeah?
He hasn't had key players, in my opinion, to play the way that I think we all want to see.
Yeah, look, but now from the team that he's had available for the last games, he had Dalot, which is his starting right back. And he's the one that he prefers because he wants him to play as a right wing when we switch in position to a back three. That Dalot goes out to stretch. Now we have Varane who is fit. I agree on Martinez and I agree on Luke Shaw. But then again, Casemiro's fit, Mount is fit, Bruno is fit, Anthony is fit, Højlund is fit, and Rashford was fit. And he just got his keeper. So basically, it's a left back and a left centre back. Is the difference?
Actually, it's the whole back four.
It's the whole back four.
It's the whole back four. The whole back four are not good at playing out of the back.
Been changed. What was it? 9 times now, or 8 times? 11 games.
Yeah.
And not due to him wanting to, him due down to injuries.
But he's then prioritized different signings then.
So where's the balance?
He's then, for me, prioritized 60 million on Mount. What was the point of 60 million
we're
on
on
Mount?
We're on our wait, Said. We're on our fourth side.
We're on entertain that conversation.
But
we're
on
side.
We had so many
on our
players in that position. That area, we had so many in that position.
We're
He
on
prioritized the wrong signing. That's on him.
That's disingenuous. We're talking about.
How's that disingenuous? Hold on a minute. How's that disingenuous? Tell me how's that disingenuous.
Because you're being disingenuous. We're literally talking about a back four that's changed. And you're talk, and then you're switching it to Mason Mount because you don't want to entertain the conversation. No.
You're saying you don't have the profile. You just said here now you don't have the profile. So I'm saying, why did you go and get Mason Mount when you could have had the profile at the back?
I just said about the profile specifically to the defense, bro. You're moving like traps right now. I've just specifically.
No, that's the question though.
Bro, yeah, but listen to what I'm saying. You're not critical listening. That's why you're asking questions that are not relevant. Respectfully, I've literally just spoke about not having key players in the back four in the defense, which are key to playing the way. That's defense. Mount don't play defense, bro.
No. Okay. That's why I wanted to stop you there. I said you want to basically saying you need extra depth in that area. Yes or no?
No, you need
100% yes.
Side, we're on our side. We are on our
side.
So then why strategize, go and get him out, spending 60 odd million, and then say, you know what, I need a defender because I know Lisandro he's out and the quality that I have in the back.
Side. We're on our fourth and fifth choice center back right now. I hope you understand. We're on our fourth and fifth choice center back. At left back, we've been playing our third. I would argue third and fourth string left back, right? Because if Luke Shaw's out, normally Dalot will play, right? We've been playing Reguilon, right? Our backup right back hasn't been available and fit, so our starting right back has been playing left back. Sometimes he gets hurt. We've been playing our loanee signing. It's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. Not to mention the person who helped us progress the most are the two players I would argue are Luke Shaw and Lisandro Martinez. They were huge in the build-up last season. They were probably the reason we were able to play the way we
Oh,
played.
you man, Luke
You know what
Shaw
I'm saying?
been here 9 years,
Luke-
man. You lot are still
Luke Shaw-
concentrating on
but
Luke
that's-
Shaw.
that's
what I
Luke
do
Shaw's
with
been
what
in
he
9
has to
years.
But no, that's another
What's
discussion
that
for another
Nine
day. though.
years.
That's
I'm
another
just-
discussion for another day.
it's
What
just
does
the fact-
9 years
we're
have to do with last season?
Yeah, what I'm about to say? What does 9 years have to do with how we played last season?
Luke Shaw's the answer. Luke Shaw's been in 9 years,
We
man.
didn't say he's
No
the
one's
answer,
saying
man.
that.
We're not fighting
No
him.
one's
I never
saying
said that.
Saeed,
I never said that.
You're doing this thing where like you're
not ready, man.
attacking the point that's being made without listening to what they're actually saying.
Correct.
Luke
I've
Shaw,
literally
no one is
told
saying Luke Shaw is the best leg back. In my opinion, he's not the best leg back for Ten Hag system, but he at least was able to perform to a certain level that helps the
Correct.
system last season.
Facts.
Is that
Okay,
simple?
okay. And again,
Even
you
at
still
left
not answered
centre
my
back, he was
question before.
immense.
But
So
you
now,
still
look,
not answered my question before. That 60 million, could that have been better used? Yes or no?
Yes.
That 60 million would be
Of
better.
course, yes.
That's
Of
all I wanted
course.
to ask. That's
Yeah, but
all.
that's
That's it.
okay to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Okay, Saeed.
But it
That's
had
all I
nothing to
wanted
do with
It's
the.
okay to ask that, but if we're on topic about, and we're making a very valid point about the back four changing and that being key, Mason Mount should not come in your mind. At that, I'll be honest. If you're listening to the convo, Mason Mount should not be entering your mind at that time. I don't get that.
But you know why it came into my mind? Because
Go on.
you said we don't have the correct depth, and I said to you, then could
No,
the
I said we didn't have
resource
key players.
of the money that was spent
Saeed.
could that have used better?
No, but the
Could
one
that
thing-
have used
the one-
better?
the
That's
one
my
thing I'll
question
gi-
came
The
in.
one thing I'll accuse them for that.
Yeah,
though,
you're
at
right
Man
about the money
United,
being spent better.
at Man United, money is spent on position by position basis. We need to sell a center back to sign a center back. So that Mason Mount money was only going to go to midfield. It was never going to go to center back, no matter
That's
what.
incorrect because Kim Min Jae was again decent money. We didn't put the money forward.
Yeah,
didn't
because we didn't sell
prioritize.
Maguire. Because we didn't sell Maguire, right? Maguire was meant to go for Kim Min Jae.
No, because Kim Min Jae would have been the first signing, bro.
No, but the
But
club
I
wanted
also
to get a
think
center
as
back
well.
out.
That was
The
the
club wanted
priority.
to get it.
Kim
The
Min
club
Jae
wanted to get a
was
center back out.
literally the main priority. Like we're ready to go.
I know.
And then we
But why
took
did
too long to
why
get the money together and sort it out.
why?
This is what
Because
it
what?
is.
Because
Yeah.
we didn't sell. Because he wanted to.
Because our structure's a load of bullshit. And we got bankers and businessmen making these decisions because
but
they ain't got
the-
time to do
but
that
what if
shit.
the
And they do one thing at
the
a time.
structure wanted to get Maguire out first to get Kim and Jae in.
That's incorrect.
Then why didn't we sign? No, but that makes no sense then. Because then that Mason Mount money could have gone to Kim and Jae right away.
No, we couldn't because the money that was needed for Kim and Jae was a lot more than what Mason Mount would have been overall. We had to haggle for Mason Mount, but what you have to understand is we're doing at the moment. The way we operate is we work on one signing and then another. We don't have multiple things going on at the same time, which is what we used to be able to do. So we are slow to get there. Kim and Jae's waiting, Bayern Munich sweeping, there you go, bang. This is why structure is so flipping important, because there are people who are bankers and businessmen making fucking football decisions 24/7, and it will impact every fucking manager what we have.
Yeah, fair enough.
Every
I
manager.
think
Fair enough.
I think there's a lot of. I still think there's an underlying excuses for the manager's role in
now-
certain player profiles as well. I think there's a.
How can
There has to be
it's not-
some sort of
something relevant
accountability.
to a situation
Yes,
be an
Saeed.
excuse if it's relevant?
Side. It's not an
there's no
excuse.
accountability.
Guys, it's not an
excuse.
Neji, 1 second, bro.
I didn't say excuse.
My bad,
I
bro.
didn't say excuse. I said accountability.
It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. That's what it is. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's an explanation. I can explain why things are happening the way they're happening. And when the next manager comes in and he has a good run of form and we see something exciting and then it dips and you say, get him the fuck out too, you're gonna say it's gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the issue.
But we need to have conversations now. I get it that impacts the future and whatnot, but the conversations now are as a result of what he's brought in. And that's the conversation I'm putting to you now. What was the point of Mason Mount signing? Why can't we now implement Amrabat all of a sudden? He now is struggling in that midfield. There's so many areas on the football pitch that I'm looking at right now and I'm thinking, what's going on wrong? And these are his guys. That's what I'm talking about.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you one example of how a structure fixes a manager's mistake, because managers make mistakes when they profile players. Managers do make mistakes. That happens all the time, right? All the time. I like Kai Havertz. Thank you. Mohamed Salah was not Jurgen Klopp's first choice right winger when they were going in for a right winger at that time. They wanted to protect. I can't remember exactly who it was. Klopp identified a particular player. Thank you. It was Götze. They wanted Götze, right? Excuse me. Yeah, Brand, whoever it was. They wanted a particular player. The structure of the club said no. We want, like, they targeted. They said Salah is the better option, and that's what happened. And they went and got Salah, and look what happened. Klopp didn't want Salah, but because they have a structure in place, a good system of identifying players, being able to have the power to say no as a director of football, all those things matter. Because managers will make mistakes. If you think Ten Hag, if you think Ten Hag's the first person as a manager who wanted a player and it didn't work out for him, come on, like it happens all.
Normal.
Pep Guardiola talked about Doku. He talked about Doku right after the match. Pep Guardiola didn't pick Doku. He gave the credit to the director of football for identifying Doku and bringing him to the club. He's like, I can't believe I got to play like that. That's a football structure.
Pep didn't even want Haaland.
Yeah, no.
And then he coached Doku.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
exactly. Well, there's
you have to do.
an element of coaching as well, which you're not talking about as well.
What?
Let me just get this
He's had Doku for how many weeks?
Okay, all right.
Right.
I'm gonna get a couple of super chats in, man.
Guys,
Adam,
this is so nonsensical. Like, genuinely, this is like, I'm not even disrespectful, but this is like genuinely, for me, looking at it on the outside in, this is common sense. You're asking questions that are like just require a little bit of common sense. If your director of football has got you knowing that the way you want to play football, the way you want to go, they're going to give you profiles that, yes, they may need coaching, but not switching their talent ability. Coaching does not mean you change their ability, it means you enhance their abilities that they've already got naturally.
We have a situation where our structure does not pick players for the manager because we have a terrible structure. So instead, we have a manager. But instead, we have a manager. Hold on, we have a manager who's picking his best options or his preferred options.
Yes. So, Adam, does that not go back to what I said at the start then? On reality, it's either because we've got no football structure, we have to do it under the manager's way, or we can carry on with this because the structure we do have is cancel culture where we sack manager over two seasons on average, and then try win a trophy within one.
My point is,
so that second option means you ain't going to challenge for a Premier League. You may get a one-off like a Leicester, and you ain't going to challenge Champions League, and we have to be okay with that if that's what we're choosing. If not, because we've got no structure, then we have to at least rely on any manager. By the way, Ten Hag, if you get rid of him tomorrow, next manager Zidane, doesn't matter. You have to at least then do it in his image because we haven't got a football structure because we keep changing profiles and we can't even get rid of profiles for the next manager. So rather than keep that going and have these same conversations, the two things that I've just said to you that remain, you either sack the manager and carry on this 2-season cycle and then expect less, which you should be, not expecting big Man United, or you go and get your style of football and you go get your vision based on the manager you have. And then you have to sit through the shit with it that comes with it because he's got to get rid of shit to make that happen. You can't have both. Man United are the setting you up to fail.
I think you can have a bit of both. I think you can have a style of play and have something. Honestly,
Ten Hag is the one that demanded this power, though. He's the one that came into this club and demanded to have.
I hear this all the time, but that's not true.
Blame.
Bro, it was reported by reliable journalists that he's the one that wanted. He wanted a lot of power.
This is journalist reporting. Ten Hag from his own words.
Then hold on. I'll just finish what I want to say because
but then he doesn't deserve for in my opinion. He doesn't deserve.
Yeah, let Adam go. Let Adam go.
Yeah, no worries. Just let me land on this. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is, Ten Hag has control of the signings because we have a shocking structure, and that should not be the case, and that's agreed. But then again, the fact that the structure is shocking allowed him to pick the players he wanted. So in all cases, he has to coach them because now we have a situation in which we have if we had a good structure, he would get players that maybe he didn't want, and then he would be defended for not having the players he wanted. And now we are defending him because he picked the right players that he wanted, but he shouldn't be picking them because the structure is not in place. My point is, we should be seeing much better, regardless. The structure is the biggest problem. And the reason why I am not Ten Hag out, like officially saying it like this, is because I agree that if you go and get another manager here, I expect struggles as well. Because we don't have a purpose and a good enough environment to allow managers to succeed. I hear that. I really do hear that. My thing is, Ten Hag doesn't get criticized because he doesn't have a structure to pick players for him. And Ten Hag doesn't get criticized because he picked he picked himself the players. Do you see what I'm
criticized him? I've criticized. Adam, I've criticized him a lot. I think again, a lot of people, most of y'all have, done videos with me. I think Bruno Fernandes is absolutely horrible, and I've said that. I've said Bruno will get Ten Hag the sack. I've said that. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Anthony. I think Anthony's horrible. So I can criticize him just like Syed said, two things can be true. I can criticize this manager for some of the decisions he's making, and at the same time say that we need to stick with it and go through the mud for a little bit. One, because I've seen it happen in the past. Okay, let's say we fire Ten Hag tomorrow and sign a new manager. That means we'll have players from Van Gaal. We'll have Van Gaal's players. We'll have Mourinho's players. We'll have Ollie's players. We'll have Ten Hag's players, and we'll have this new manager's players. So that will be. It's a snowball effect. It's just a snowball effect. So that's why I'm like, he's shown. And to your point of he needs to coach the players. I've seen him. The reason I'm giving him more time is because last season I saw him improve players that we wanted to get rid of. Luke Shaw is someone I've criticized. He improved Luke Shaw tremendously. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you can criticize it. I don't think he's a top-level player, but he played the best football he's ever played in his career last season. Even players like Harry Maguire, when they came in, outside of the back end of last season, did a somewhat of a job. Lindelof looked really good last season. Marcus Rashford had his greatest season ever. Bruno Fernandes didn't score a lot of goals last season. In my opinion, had his greatest season at Manchester United, even without the goals, even without the assists. So he's shown that he can improve players, which is why I'm going to give him, in my opinion, again, we're 11 games into the Premier League season. I think he deserves a bit more leniency.
11 too much. I'm going to read the super chat here. Tariq says, listen, man, I'm serious, guys. Tariq says,
trying to sack him at the start of the season, given the season he's just had.
No. I didn't. You know what's mad? I was. No, hold on a minute. I said to a lot of people. No. I said to a lot of people, yeah, and I would give November, December, around this area if I don't see the improvement. Because at the start of the season, it was poor. But I said, no, you always give it around November, December to see if the style of play improves, if what he wants from the team improves. And for me, I haven't seen that. I've seen an actual abomination. I've seen him regress, play worse. And that, for me, that pattern cannot continue anymore.
If it goes like this, and it only can go like this or this. It can't like go and then come back up.
I think it'll go like this. I think it'll go like this. It'll go up. And this is the problem. And this is why, for me, it's not sustainable. That's the title of the video. It's not sustainable. I'm going to read this super chat here. Tariq says, thanks for describing the style of play. Now, where are the players to fit? 400 million later, and I don't see them on the team. Iblis says, Ten Buddy is out of his league. This is Man United. Look what past players have said. He abandons principles and is falling out with every player. Jalapeno says, Saeed, 1, you guys don't know United players better than Ten Hag knows them. 2, bench Rashford, Bruno. What happened? What's the incremental benefit of playing Garnacho and Palestri with more unrest in the dressing room? Listen, if you live by your principles, you die by your principles, man. Matt Blaker says, it does not matter at all who starts or where he starts them. The players are absolute trash, and that's the bottom line. The season injuries are the main problem, period. Saeed, does Nagy know Erik ten Hag didn't want a structure? Wilson says, with how Saeed is going after Mason Mount, I wonder if he had patience with Evra and Vidic. Oh, my days. But the problem is, with Evra, we've seen him at Monaco. Vidic, I didn't really see him. Mason Mount is inconsistent anyway.
No,
you know what I mean? So I don't get that one.
Yeah, let me answer that question since I use my name specifically, yeah? So you're telling me Ten Hag come from one of the greatest club, like, I'm not even the greatest club, probably, if not the best structural club in his time at Ajax, and then coming in and demanding similar opportunities at United before signing, and you tell me you don't want a structure? Behave yourself, my friend. Don't waste your money doing that super chat. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, this guy's waffling about we didn't bid Kim Min-jae because budget was allocated elsewhere. Mount and striker. All journals said this, and this, cool. Saeed is silly. Same guy said Harry Beckenbauer. Listen, man, we move on that one. That was a big element. We move. But you know what it is, yeah. Listen, you guys, this is what it's all about. The debate show is about having difference of opinions. If everyone agreed, then it'd be a pretty boring debate, yeah. But I look at Ten Hag, and when you say wave, you tell me like, you know, that it's gonna be going down and it could go up. My thing
like a wave.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for Man United to be going like that. I want Man United to go up, and I want United to play a consistent style of football.
Not realistic.
Yes, may not happen. Yes, results may not happen. We may not get the wins every time. But if you play by your principle, you play by the style of play, I think a lot of people will be a little bit more patient. They will say, you know what? We still stuck by the principle.
When you look back, I hear that. But when you look back, when things are going bad for you, right? When things look bad, it's hard for your eyes to really I don't know how to explain this. Early in the season, I would like to Nadee's point. There were some games where I could see what we're trying to do, and the quality wasn't good enough. And I think it tailed off relatively quickly. Where now he's chasing, right? It feels like Ten Hag's chasing. It feels like he's Scott McTominay's playing because he can get me a goal, or it's and that's problematic for me. But at the same time, this dip the dip is inevitable. The dip it will happen. It's bound to happen, right? The thing for me is can we get back to we're gonna play probably 50 games this season, right? We'll play like 50, 55 games. We're like, have we played 15? We played 15 this season, maybe. We're somewhere around there right now.
The thing is,
so we have 6 wins, 5 losses in the Premier League.
No, I'm talking about all competitions. We've played like 15, maybe 16 games, right? And we probably have like 45 more games to go. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just take a deep breath. Let's just take a deep breath because the dip is bound to happen.
Yeah, I hear that, and I don't have a problem with like fluctuations. That's normal, and usually the second season is often a very difficult season for most managers. It usually tends to be, and that's fine. My problem is with Ten Hag at the moment. It feels to me like he's not having a good assessment of the players he has. I agree. I think he underrates others, and that is like everyone who has watched Marcus Rashford play for Manchester United knows Marcus Rashford cannot play with a proper, like traditional number 9. We know that he doesn't score, he doesn't play well. So you go and you spend 80 million on Højlund, which I like. I really like Rasmus Højlund, to be honest. I rate him. But then again, I hear Ten Hag saying Rashford, he will get that goal, I will get him other goals, and he will get. So now you're expecting the left wing to score and the striker to score. And it's not a surprise. Last season, Rashford, people say he had a great season. I thought he was shocking. He just had a very good period of like 3 months. And he scored a lot of goals when Weghorst was in the team. He didn't score before Weghorst. He didn't score after Weghorst. And there's a reason for it. And now all of a sudden we are seeing the same thing. Put Rashford next to a proper number 9, a strong presence like Cavani, like Højlund, and he can't play. So that to me is on the manager because he spent a lot of resources on that.
Technically, Rashford's best creative year came next to Cavani, by the way.
That would mean Ten Hag has to replace Rashford.
What did you say?
Yes.
Yeah,
you have to sell.
Rashford's best creative year came with Cavani.
You have to sell and replace Rashford. Right? Marcus Rashford is an asset to Manchester United and the Glazers. Those number 10 shirts sell like hot flies. So
and that
you're dealing with a player. Hold up, bro. You're dealing with a player. You're dealing with a player that doesn't have no football value, as we are saying, which is fair. Criticism, cool. But he also has a value to the club. Any manager who wanted to get rid of Rashford is going to struggle.
Yeah,
exactly. It is what it is.
And this is why, Neji, when you talk about
an excuse, man. You can still drop him though when you don't fit. When
got dropped
you're trying to do.
Saeed,
he wasn't dropped. He wasn't dropped. Let's not do that, Neji.
Rashford's not injured. Rashford's not injured, man.
Well, that's what he said to us right now. So what is it? 1 minute is dropped. 1 minute is not dropped.
No, the thing is, the simple fact that we have to pretend Rashford is injured. The simple fact we have to pretend that Rashford is injured to drop him. It just says a lot because when
I understand that, but what you're also
when you talk about the structure, this is exactly my point. This is a point that no one is raising. We have players that are political problems that are a burden to any manager that comes in. Ten Hag cannot do his job when he is forced to play a certain type of players and certain names. And my thing
so why do we have expectations of a manager to be able to perform then if these are certain things that are going to happen?
Yeah, but if you are a manager and you accept you have to play Rashford to get the job, fine. And then you don't play him. And then when we will see the results, we will have the backing of everyone.
What if Ten Hag just raised Rashford though?
I just want to make a quick point. How are you going to get results when your substitution is a Garnacho who makes the same mistakes as Rashford because he's immature on the ball, but again has other aspects, and we've got no other left winger because no one wants to see Martial play there because either he's lost it or he's injury prone or whatever the narrative is. What we don't have, We don't have the players to replace certain things. So it is literally a pros and cons game. Who gives you more pros and cons, regardless if they fit the system or not? And that's what he's dealing with. So it's going to take longer to be able to get these players in.
I think everyone gives more than Rashford.
This is common sense. I can't believe we're arguing over this.
The problem you have here is like if you drop Rashford, with how he performed last season,
no problem.
You're going to have
let Brian go.
You're going to have a domino effect in the squad, right? Because Rashford is huge in that squad. Everybody looks up to him. You're going to have pundits like Gary Neville saying, "Oh no, he's dropped Rashford. He has no clue what he's doing." Like, this is the political problem. Unless you have people above you at the club saying, "Hey, if you drop Rashford, we'll back your choice." The manager can't do it. He can't. He will get him sacked faster if he drops a player like Rashford, because players do not see the club the way we do. All they see is Marcus Rashford plays well for us.
Yeah, but if you're a man and you're in a lose-lose situation, you take the situation and the option that preserves your reputation and your honesty.
Yeah, but he doesn't feel like lose, does he?
I have a question though. What if Ten Hag just rates Rashford though? What if Ten Hag just rates Rashford? Because that profile is rated by a lot of managers.
Yeah, but at the moment we play him, we can't score goals. We can't score. We can't win. We're absolutely shocking.
But that's not just for Rashford though. That because we took out Rashford on Wednesday and Bruno, and we still couldn't create anything.
My thing is, you need to put the most players on the pitch with the least margin for errors, because those margins, they tend to accumulate. If you have Rashford, who is a player with a big margin of error, and Bruno, who's a high-risk player with a big margin of error, and Dalot is inconsistent with a high margin of error as well, those margins tend to add up. So you are
correct. So who plays left wing then, Adam?
Who plays left wing?
Answer your own your theory. Who plays left wing?
Well, before the last thing with Sancho would play, Martial would play, Garnacho. I would play anyone at the moment ahead of him.
Yeah, and Garnacho played well today. Garnacho played well today. Garnacho played well today. I thought Garnacho was good today. You don't think Garnacho was good today?
No, he was good after the 70th minute.
No,
the end product wasn't there. How can a striker play for Manchester United?
Forget the end product for now. Forget the end product, because Marcus Rashford's got one goal this season.
Not even end product. Like the way
you have
the end product similar to Rashford.
You have a clinical number 9, right? Or you have a traditional number 9, and they haven't created a chance for him. You are a winger. My job as a winger is to put the ball in the box to create a chance for my striker. And you don't create a chance for your striker. You haven't played well. I don't care if you've done some small dribbles or anything. You have not created a chance for Highland. What is the point of having you in the team?
You have to play Martial on the left. That's the only way, because he's the only creative player you've got. And he's the only player that can maintain and attack.
This guy comes on the pitch and he looks slower than the people that have been playing for the last 80 minutes.
What did Hoyland do today? And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I want to start there, but wait.
Shift in.
Thank you. I mean, thank you. It's the same thing. They're feeding off those. Yes, a ball, someone with ball retention that can actually get the link up with Rasmus Højlund. Yes, that's what I want to do. Play if left for me, bro. I don't care. Bernardo Silva cannot run. Bernardo Silva cannot run, and when he plays out wide, I promise you, he's killing people.
Bernardo Silva literally runs the whole game.
When he's saying he can't, I thought he was talking about like pace. Like I thought that's what he was going.
Martial doesn't move.
Martial offers nothing.
I don't understand, by the way.
Martial offers nothing. It's crazy.
I can't be talking about Martial in 2023.
Exactly. Let it go. Let it go, man. You gotta let it go. He's so bad.
Martial's so bad.
He's
Leo
bad,
was
you gotta let it go. You gotta let go, Martial, bro.
Look, understand is you've got people in this stream who are asking and by the way, I agree. They're asking to swap certain players. When I ask the next question, who are you swapping it with? And it's for like because Garnacho is doing the same as Rashford. The only player left there is Martial. That's it. So that's a reality thing.
How about just don't play with wingers? If it looked to me, I wouldn't play with wingers.
It's a reality of a situation. So if the reality
we tried that, we got smoked by Brighton.
I think we get a good 20 minutes. It's more than we give these days.
Fair.
Well, who's the last good
Can let me bring on Leon? Leon wants to
had?
Leon. Oh, has he got?
It's not FIFA. Reality.
The Martial thing, it really does.
I think for me.
No, but I have a question. When is the last time you saw Martial play left wing? Like 6 years ago.
Obama administration.
You've presented a theory and the situation. I've then asked you, based on the reality of the situation, who are we playing there above him? That doesn't mean Rashford's better or someone's worse. If the Rashford isn't good enough, cool, I'm happy with that. Play Garnacho, he's shown that he doesn't do anything more. We don't improve. Who's left? Martial,
AG.
who has played there. That's all we're up to.
And yeah, and
That's
another thing.
that's what's giving you the reality of the
He hasn't
situation.
played there though. He's played there 6 years ago under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
So let's stop complaining about Rashford then, because we're going back to Rashford, aren't we?
I'm not the one that said drop. I'd keep Rashford. He's my starting left winger.
Garnacho, Rashford. I know what you're trying to say. My question is to that theory in general. If we're complaining about players, no problem. But the reality is who you replaced it with. And we're
If
going
we
back
play
to
Martial
Rashford.
in that team, we score more goals and we play better. And the thing is, look, Martial, he needs to go. His body has failed him. And he's not the way
I
forward.
agree, but the reality is not that. He's not going to go. He's not going to go as of
Exactly.
4th of the 11th, 4th of November. Can't get rid of him
You know what-
today.
you know
He's
what,
play
man,
another couple of games until January. So the situation
Yeah,
is, well,
no,
like,
hold on,
do you know what I mean?
Lee.
Like, what are we doing here?
Now, before we go, I want to just Leon wants to say something quickly. He just messaged me, man. I don't know what he's gonna want to say. Voice of reason, apparently. Now he's called now, so let's see what the voice of reason has to say.
Yeah, man. Yo, big up everyone in there. This is what United's doing to us, man. We're all going nuts right now. So, do you know what I mean? It's getting to us. But no, big up the guys overseas as well. Yeah, I think there's a lot of divide within the fan base right now, whether it's Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out, it's the structure, it's the manager, blah blah blah. But I think when we open these conversations, one thing that's been playing on my mind is going a bit more specific on where we are particularly at with the club. So for example, like when it comes to the manager and people are saying get him out, and then other people are saying if you do it, it's going to be the structure, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, like it's going to happen again. It's like what you're willing to tolerate. So for example, I know when me and Saeed have spoken before, I don't think he expects there to be sustained success and trophies every season. He's just like, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing right now. I don't like the fact that we've lost 5 times. I don't like the fact that we're scoring 1 goal in a matter of 4 games and stuff like that. So I think it's one of them. But everyone's making valid points. I think, I don't know. Me and AG clash quite a lot, don't we, AG? About like it being
100%, man.
Like he's willing to give it 4 years. I ain't giving it 4 years. Do you know what I mean? So
any manager, correct me right, wrong. Any manager, 4 years. Even the next one, 4 years.
I think the key part for this season, guys, is going to be who he picks in his midfield and who he picks in his front three, and getting them combinations right there. Because today, I knew we were going to struggle because of the midfield that he picked. So it's one of them, innit? But like, yeah, man, I think if he carries on though, it's not acceptable for me. I'll be real with you. So
yeah. But before we wrap up, I want to ask everyone what does Ten Hag need to change now? What does he need to do to improve? And I'll go around, and then we kind of wrap it up like that. Brian, you go first. What does he need to do to improve things?
I'll say for right now, the major thing he needs to do is get a set team and stop chopping and changing. Every 11 is different from every game.
Amen.
And for me, the players who are out of form need to be dropped. So Rashford needs to be dropped. Bruno needs to be dropped. Get a set team. Pellistri I'll play. I don't think Pellistri is a world-class player, but he's a byline winger, and you have a better chance of him going down the right and putting in a cross for Højlund than Anthony. We need to start getting service to Højlund. Like, we're not going to score goals because we have a traditional number 9. We're not going to score goals if we're not feeding a striker. So get Højlund in. I would play Mason Mount on left wing. This is going to be different. I think he's played there for Chelsea. He's been more effective there for Chelsea. In midfield, I would play Eriksen. I would have Amrabat, and I'll probably start introducing Mainu. Like,
okay. I like that.
For me, get a midfield that can control possession. Like, they want to keep the ball. Fullback is what it is. We don't have many options. I'll probably play Dalot left because I think he's better inverting, coming into midfield on the left. Keep Wan-Bissaka out right. Then center backs is what it is. We don't have the players, but Maguire and Paulo Varane. That's pretty much what I'll go with.
Griggs, what does he need to change
It's kind of
for us to get better?
I think with Ten Hag, like the last few games, we've seen him kind of adjust game by game basis. I just want to see something more consistent, like a consistent 11. Obviously, the center backs and stuff, I'll give him a pass because he doesn't have his first choice center backs right now. So you get the pass for that left back is interesting. I kind of like the Mason Mount idea, like the left wing. But then I would use Reguilon instead of Dalot because you can kind of invert Mason Mount a little bit more to be like the wing fielder that he is. For me, he's a wing fielder in my opinion. And Reguilon can offer you that width. His crosses are okay. I'm not gonna say they're anything like special, but it gives you like a different balance. And just the midfield, Kobe Minor for me has to start getting introduced, because for me, he might even be the best midfielder at this club already, and he's only 18 years old, and I think he's tactically disciplined, and Ten Hag rates him highly. I think these players rate him highly based on what I see, and I think he could give that young spark and that energy that this club needs right now, this team needs right now. Like, they need energy, and just a consistent starting 11, and just stop adjusting game by game. Set a consistent like press, how you want to attack, how you want to set up in the build up. No more like, if you want to persist with the 3-1-6, okay, whatever. For me, like today, we kind of started seeing the right back invert a little bit more. I thought Wan-Bissaka tucked in next to Eriksen a couple times in the first half. I want to just stay consistent with that. Don't chop and change, because these players need consistency, not only like on the pitch, but they also need consistency in like the patterns and like what the coach wants them to do. Otherwise, like, you're seeing players that are lost, like we saw against Copenhagen.
CK, same question to you, bro.
Yeah, I think it's similar. Just just being a little bit too adaptive to other teams instead of making teams adapt to us. We shouldn't be adapting. We shouldn't be adapting to Fulham away. We shouldn't be adapting to Copenhagen at home. Like, there's massive changes to the structure for Copenhagen at home, Newcastle, cup game at home. I just want to see, more consistency, and I think that comes with making the right team selections, as said multiple times on here. But McTominay out and Mason Mount in, I think Mason Mount has to be involved in some way. Just the energy, along with like the technical foundation that he brings to the team. And then the out of possession, I think, is just as big of a problem as in possession right now. Just the structure. Again, there was another tweak today. Went from like a 4-2-3-1 out of possession to like more of a 4-4-2, 4-2-4 with like Bruno and Højlund leading, and it didn't really work. So just like more consistency in that, just overall, and just I think a lot of it comes down to him, just making the right selections and being okay with not having like moments players in your team, and more like balanced, squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Temi, talk to me.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing when a team is struggling, the way you change that is by making yourself very difficult to beat. And that's what Ten Hag did last season. He made the team very difficult to beat. There was times where we didn't play great football, but we got the first goal, played some decent football, and won games, right? He needs to get back to, if it means dropping the line back maybe 5, I don't care. Make yourself difficult, because today Fulham could have scored 3 goals, even though I didn't think they played that well. So we need to become more difficult to beat. From a personnel perspective, I'm sorry, Bruno. I think just like Ole Gunnar, it's weird, because just like Ole, I think one of the biggest mistakes he made was making Bruno his captain. I'm sorry. When somebody who is that erratic is your leader, you will not. It's just a killer for your team. So I think he needs to drop Bruno Fernandes. I think Marcus Rashford needs a break. I think he needs to come out of the side, and the technical floor of the team needs to get higher. As average as I think a lot of our players are, I think the team he's picking currently, the technical floor is so low, and we are easy to beat. There's no way that we can continue that. So the technical floor needs to raise, and that means bringing in Donny van de Beek, who I don't think is the greatest player in the world, but has a good technical floor. People hated Weghorst last season, but his technical floor was very good. Everything else as a striker, not good, but the technical floor, very good. So the technical floor of the team he's picking, Eriksen has to play. I definitely think Amrabat has to play. Just because, again, we may not look as sexy, right? But we will control the game more, which will lead to more chances, which will lead to more goals. It's just a fact. So if he does those things, bro, he will get back in a rhythm. I genuinely believe it.
Yeah. Neji, without talking about structure, please. Without the structure talk. In the short term, please.
I know. Too deep for certain ends, man. It's all good. First and foremost, shout out to you, Saeed, for having me on again, of course. And shout out to the panel. Make sure everyone in the comments, make sure you like and subscribe and everything else as well, man. Do you know what I mean? I think there's quite a few people on here who do their channels, man, and giving their time, especially for the international fans who give us the reason to call Man United the best club in the world, or biggest club in the world, because without them, we can't be that. So, do you know what I mean? Big up you lot. But for me, bro, the reality is we can't put the ball in the back of the net no matter if we play nice football or not. And then I'm not going to be a hypocrite and go against what I predicted. So I couldn't give a toss about the style of football. Couldn't give a toss about how many chances created. I know we can't put the ball in the back of the net. So for me, like, Ten Hag just has to find a way of getting results, whether he chops and changes or not, whether he has to adapt, because right now it's going to be results that keep him his job. And then he can go back to the drawing board and go, shit, okay, I personally need to go and get the players back in from fitness before I start to attempt to at least play my style and get results, to get both. Because let's be honest, Man United fans want both. That's cool if you want both. I think it's unrealistic at present, given the situation. But if they want both, then I think having a fully fit squad in key areas will give them the opportunity to play not only better football, but at least give us opportunity to go and get results as well. So yeah, that'd be me, bro. But I'm just happy to get a result. However, and again, I'm going to part the good football until I see better players on that pitch who are capable of maintaining what I believe Ten Hag wants to do. By the way, again, big up my boy Amad Diallo. Again, has to come through, and Kobe Mainoo. Those two players for me, they could. Yeah. Come on, man.
If he messes about with Kobe Mainoo, man, you might be Ten Hag out, mate. You know what I'm saying? Because you love Kobe Mainoo.
He's my boy, you know.
So...
You even know I called it from early, man. So yeah.
Well, I've been saying they're going to save our season since August.
We'll see what I go on, man. But yeah, shout out to everyone, man, and been a great stream. And shout out to my boy Leon as well, who came through last minute. Do you know what I mean? Super subbing that, man. Big up.
Yeah. Big up to Tariq. He just comes over here, man. Big up to Tariq. Says he needs to humble himself. I think he's talking about Ten Hag there as well. Before Adam, what does he need to do? You said you're not Ten Hag in, but you're not Ten Hag out. But what does he need to change for you? Is it apart from Rashford?
Yeah, but that's a big thing. My point
is,
it's
a big thing.
What he needs to change is he needs to start picking good players in their good positions more often than not and give them a run. If you put good players together plus instructions, they will sort it out themselves. And if you add instructions on top of it, you have a very good recipe for success. Because the thing is, we need more players that do nothing, quote unquote. We need more players that get the ball and pass it. And then you create the environment in which you can have Bruno make a killer pass. You can't start with the killer pass. You need to start by creating an environment in which that creative pass happens. Because when Man City start playing and they get the ball in the first minute, you don't see Kevin De Bruyne start the game with a killer pass. They start moving it around, they stretch the pitch, and then they start making and creating space. And then the pass happens. You need to create the right environment for good things to happen, and that requires patience. And we have more players that are suited, in my opinion, to Ten Hag's type of play than for the counter-attack and long ball type of players. Because Amrabat fits, Anthony fits, Mason Mount, in my opinion, fits, Rasmus fits everything. The back four, like Luke Shaw, everyone fits except for a few players, and we know which players those are. So he needs to start picking good players, get the ball, pass it, and then we will start seeing something that makes sense. Because good players, they get along. But if you put good players with shocking players, there's absolutely no way they don't speak the same language. And we see that way too often. We always have the feeling that we have players, we just have a bunch of individuals and not a team. They don't speak the same language. Some players speak football and others speak, I don't know whatever the fuck they speak, but it's not football. And that needs to change, if you ask me. So this is what I want from the manager. I want to see something steady and something that is football steady, like not chaos. I don't have much time for chaos. I have too much work with school for chaos. That's chaotic enough. That's enough.
Facts. And the voice of reason, man. You're gonna wrap this up for us. What are you saying?
Yeah, man, I got you. I don't need to say much this time. CK, Temi, and Adam, I'm gonna take a sprinkle of everything you lot have said. That's beautiful to me. Do you know what I mean? Right there, yeah. Neji, me and you never agree, so I don't need to agree with anything you say. I'm joking. But I'm joking. He's talking that sense. I think he needs to go back to the basics. And the biggest thing that I would say is, I'm not going to say what happens on the pitch. For his mindset, he needs to wake up and be a little bit less naive to the Premier League. He's got to adapt more. I understand that he has a philosophy and he has an idea of what he wants to do, but he might not get the time to apply that. So he needs to be able to survive and actually just be a little bit more adaptable. Like, okay, Bruno and Rashford are you guys. Okay, you don't want to play Donny van der Beek. Okay, you've done certain things or whatever. But there's going to be key games like Saeed. Remember when we said a few weeks ago we played Reading in the second leg and he played a full strength team? That's just naive. Do you know what I mean? So but I think it was Reading. But yeah, and I don't know. I'm still unsure of the manager, but the key to this season, because we don't have the back four that we want, is going to be the goals. And if the goals don't come, I think he's going to struggle to keep his job. So that's all I can say on that.
Fairs,
Oh yeah,
man,
also
fairs.
big up everyone in here, man. Big up everybody. So.
Love that.
Yeah, absolutely,
Love,
man.
bro.
No, it's been a good show, man. Honestly, guys, man. As much as we we may have disagreed on points, that's what it's all about, man. A debate, man. Elite
True.
pundit, good debut, solid debut. You know what I mean? You may get the call up again, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Ten Hag, man. We're gonna have consistent squad in here. So big up,
Wait,
Brian. Let them know where they can find you.
Said, did you just say that Neji and you disagreed on a few points? Is that what you just
Yeah.
said? Oh, mad.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
You know, Saeed, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for bringing me on. I don't do a lot of video content. I mostly just do Twitter stuff, but I appreciate you letting me come on and talk about this mess that is Manchester United.
Shocking mess, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it, man. Like I said, me and Elite Pundit were back and forth on Twitter, but people think that, you know what I mean, I'm just negative, but I've got context to it. You know
You
what I
have,
mean?
bro.
There's things that I want to say that I feel about it. I don't only just rant, you know. I have a 2-hour debate. So that's what it's all about, people. But make sure you follow Elite Pundit on Twitter as well. And Griggs, big up to you, man. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Sure, always appreciate you for having me. At Michael_Griggs26 on Twitter. If you want to argue with me on there, whether it's any sport. Right now, basketball. I'll argue about basketball right now because Julius Randle is the worst thing that's ever happened in my existence. But anyway, Griggs Talk on YouTube. I think I'm almost at 160 subs. Dropped match reaction today, so go check that out. Did a live yesterday. Sai was in the comments saying I did a live. I'm trying to build the live consistency slowly but surely.
Come on.
But yeah.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. CK, man, we need the content back, man. I've not seen no uploads, man. What's going on?
I know, man. It's something about it's a bad trait to have, but like when the team is shit, like it zaps my motivation to like make, because it's like the same thing. It's like Bruno, Rashford, Ten Hag in and out. It's like there's nothing to really talk about. I'm not the type to just like push out. I need to be more consistent with it regardless. But on Twitter, I tweet all the time, so too much. So hit me up on State of Footy on Twitter, and then at State of Footy on YouTube as well. Content coming back up. I'm about to record a match reaction right now, actually, just because you said that. So
there you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, man. Come on. Love that. Big up to Temi, man. Big up for coming on, man.
No, appreciate you, dog. Appreciate everyone on the panel as well. I love the debate as always. Y'all can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at WavyTemi_. I've been on hiatus for the past few weeks. I've been moving into a new crib and stuff, so I'm more settled now. So my goal is to get content back out next week. On TikTok, I just do different little fun videos. On YouTube, I make like reaction videos. So yeah, just show your boy some love. I'm going for like I think 400 subs on YouTube. On TikTok, I'm trying to get to 11.8K, 12. I don't remember, something like that. So just follow your boy. Yeah, and follow everyone else on the panel as well. Make sure y'all do that.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Neji, big up to you, man, for coming up, bro.
Yeah, it's all love, man. You know what I mean? World's greatest heavyweight footballer, biggest villain on YouTube right now on Saeed's channels. Do you know what I mean? This is what it is, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's all love, man. But anything to do with me,
wait till
guys.
You come on the Mandem Talk. Wait till you come on the Mandem Talk next week, then you'll find out.
Oh no, I'll be that. Yeah, listen, Mandem Talk. Listen, hated the door, never ignored or whatever it is, man. Do you know what I mean? It's what it is. But yeah, man, guy with a passion for United, with passionate opinions, and it is what it is, man. I love this club. It's the death of me, but it is what it is, man. We keep flying the flag somehow, and yeah, man. Anything to do with me, right there, Sunshine47, TikTok, Twitter as well, football, and then anything to do with athletics or modeling or even DJing. Shout me on Instagram as well. I'm always active on there. And yeah, man, I'm about, man. But yeah, I can't keep fighting with the fan base, man. I'll be honest. I can't get into altercations, man.
I don't want to. I want to believe. But listen, I don't believe.
Really is. But I have to give one more big shout out to the international fans, obviously, who've come through, man. That big shout out. On Michael's respect, like, we can talk Knicks, bro, because I'm a Knicks fan as well. Do you know what I mean? My cat's named Mellow for a reason. So yeah, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Why are you laughing, bro?
Because I text CK.
I just know, yeah, we go back and forth all the time now. Wait, bro, I'm out in LA, so I'm a Laker fan, but I feel the pain.
Yeah, no, Knicks are dead, bro. Julius Randle, bro, he's literally He's
I
no,
can't say-
Randall. Monsters Inc. Yeah, Monsters Inc. Randall. That's him. Dead. Scrooge.
We're just not catching
Yeah.
the train to New York City.
Anyway, Man United in it. So yeah, we'll do a Knicks channel one
Yeah,
day,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Flipping
definitely. Adam, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Professor Adam, big up to you, man, for coming on.
Yeah, pleasure as always, man. Big up everyone, AG, everyone, Brian for
It's
the
nice,
first,
Adam.
DK, my guy, the voice of reason as well. Pleasure to meet you, my bro. So, all love, all love.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, voice of reason, big up to you, man, for coming on and jumping in.
Yeah, man, cool. Channel set up, ready to go, man. Do you know what I mean? It's been a long time coming, so we're there, man. Boxing, MMA. I like that. I like that.
That's what that was. That was a
Thank
weird.
you,
I
man.
was
I was like, where's that coming from?
But yeah, no, I work in the combat industry, so I'm happy to bring the boxing MMA content. I'm happy to do. I started to get into a little bit of basketball as well. I went to watch some women's basketball the other day, and obviously Man United as well. So when the pain with Man United is hurting me, I just switch to the other sports because that's how we're running it. But
Max.
no,
I've got that
Leon's
pleasure
reality
right now.
on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I need to get more active on there, to be honest with you. And yeah, man, big up everyone in the thing. Do you know what I mean? Love to connect with everyone. And do you know what, Saeed? The biggest shout out's got to be to you, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Nah, I appreciate. Man. Big up to
Bro,
everybody
you're
here,
out
man.
there at the games, bro. You're there at the games, feeling the pain live.
Nah, we
innit?
blessed, man. Yeah, man. Now we blessed, man. We blessed, man. Always, man. Like I said, big up to the community. Big up to you guys for coming on. And we'll be back next week for the debate show. I think after the Luton game, I think it is. So hopefully, Luton game, we win that game and we move, innit? We move. But
Big
guys,
game.
been a good one. This has been a debate show.